Do 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 do. The night is young, we've got stuff to do. The Butter Bunch is gonna review. Welcome or welcome back. I am Jacob.
I'm Aiden.
And together we are the Butter
The
Bunch.
Butter Bunch.
Yeah, we were waiting a bit for Phoebe, particularly because this is the one I think she would be the most excited to see out of all the Nightmare Times, just on the basis alone that it tied into another piece of Hatchetfield content. But I suppose.
So, Jacob, funny story. You were echoing just now. And I'm like, you're not actually echoing, but I had the stream pulled up on another tab. And I heard you twice, and I was so confused. I was like, where is that coming from? Why is there two Jacobs? Did Jacob record him singing and then just played that? I was confused.
Okay, yeah, because sometimes I forget to take the reverb off and I sound like I'm echoing. But not that time, yeah.
Well, you kind of tell if reverb. You can't tell.
Well, I mean, yeah, you could. I can't hear myself. If people are wondering, yeah, but I have a new audio interface, a new microphone that I ordered recently. So, yeah, hopefully. I haven't set up everything because I keep forgetting to do so, and also been busy for the past few days.
Was it expensive?
Not relatively speaking by the standards of audio setups.
Oh. Maybe I'll get one day. Who knows?
I can send you the... Well, I was going to say, I can send you the link to where I got it from, but the thing that I got it from is the reason that my bank called me on suspicion of fraud. So...
Yeah, probably not the best idea. Plus, to be fair, it's probably set in euros, and I don't have euros.
When you buy something online that is in a different currency, your bank converts it to your currency.
Well, yeah, but like shipping, international shipping.
Okay, you would have to do that regardless of...
Oh, yeah.
That would happen either way. I mean, if you get it from the actual site, maybe there's a chance that it'd be on Amazon.com, because I'd use Amazon.co.uk. That's what I tended to gravitate towards.
I tend to use Amazon if I'm ever going to buy something online, to be fair.
Well, yeah, I tried to find it, is my point, but when you look it up, you actually get mostly the old version of this, and I was trying to get the new model specifically because the older version had issues with it. So I don't really know. This is us stalling for time, everyone, in case BB showed up while we were talking. But no.
By the way, stream, how have all you been in the chat over there?
Let's have a look, because I haven't put on any messages from the chat yet. Everyone's very excited. I mean, Prism is definitely very keen on actually being able to be here for once, which is KW has not seen us before, so is curious about what's happening. Josh is just being his usual sociable self.
Yeah. Do you want to explain what Nightmare Time is for KW or any potential new viewers to stream?
No. Well, when I say she hasn't seen Nightmare Time, I mean she hasn't seen this Nightmare Time, not that she hasn't seen any of the other ones.
I was about to be like, wait, if she hasn't seen it, you want to explain that to Stall?
Well, I guess to Stall, just in case anyone is watching this as your first exposure to Nightmare Time.
Even though first of all, we're starting on episode 2, part 2. So, but you do you.
It's even weirder starting on a reaction of episode 2, part 2. If anything, you would just recommend checking out the actual Nightmare Times first. But just in case, the video's in the description, by the way, the original one. So this is a project that Team Starkid started during the COVID years because they were unable to keep performing any more stage productions in the Hatchetfield Saga, which is something that they started back in 2018 as a way to divert from their usual, those all mostly like almost entirely comedic setups. That like everything this is still really funny. It's just this time it dives into much darker material and original content and interconnected content all at the same time.
To be fair, even the Hatchetfield stuff does dive into to darker material. Like the guy who didn't like.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The Hatchetfield stuff is the darker see, here's the thing. Aiden hasn't watched much of Team Starkid outside of Hatchetfield, so doesn't know the difference. That's what I mean.
I'm pretty sure me and you like were in a call one day and watched like Holy Musical Batman.
Oh yes. So you've seen that, and you've also, I think you might have seen a VHS Christmas Carol live because we did a reaction to that as well on this channel.
Maybe, I don't know if I was there for that or not.
Okay.
I don't think I was there for that specific one.
Oh, all right. Well, Holy Musical Batman is more of the classic style of Team Starkid, and Hatchetfield has been a little bit of a mass rebranding. Because that's most of what they do now.
I personally prefer the darker stuff. Again, a lot like if you've seen my series and my taste in general, I tend to like darker stuff, I guess, with darkness.
I suppose. For me, in a perfect world, I would have loved to see both in this instance. So, you know, like, which I guess, like, VHS Christmas Carol was one of the things that, you know, was more so in their old style, except it was then made purely musical. And it's my understanding, based on some of the comments that we've received, that they apparently still perform that every year. And apparently, when we reference the Christmas electricity drug undertones that I missed for the first time, when or multiple times watching that, until watching it on the Butter Bunch and BB ruined the perception of it for me. Apparently, at one point, they changed the line of "We've got a real cool gang" to "We've got real cocaine," which was apparently like a common like misheard line. So they changed it for one night. I think it was James who was.
That's kind of funny though.
Like that. Yeah. So again, classic Starkid sense of humor, but yeah, the Nightmare Time stuff was when they couldn't perform live anymore, and so they decided to make a series with this of stories based on the characters from the Hatchetfield series. The people were more or less familiar with, depending on what parts you'd actually seen. And also that for the most part, every Hatchetfield installment has been in its own separate timeline. So while you still get the same characters, they don't really share all the joint experiences. And most of the time when you get to see them again, it tends to either be a reset or what they would have ended up like if you had seen them, if the events of the story that came before hadn't happened. So, for example, Paul and Emma still have their, they'll begin to, I guess, not really date, but they are intimate, according to Paul, in Black Friday. However, they did not have the, you know, near-death experience of the guy who didn't like musicals that joined them together. It was just a case of they just kept talking in beanies and things blossomed naturally, as was the case apparently in the Forever and Always series episode that we watched last time. So for the most part, you get that idea. So you have some people who reappear, some of them as you see for the first time you've only heard in previous installments, and mostly they tend to be connected but separated. Except for this one. And people were very keen for us to react to this at the same time as part one, because they're made into one video. The part one and part two is our thing. When you watch the actual Nightmare Time episodes, they're just episodes 1, 2, etc. But they're two stories in one video. But yeah, we all had to go, so we ran out of time in that particular instance. But time is very much the nature of what we're dealing with here. So let's see what happens when a man is dealt with more time than he originally thought that he might have. And since BB hasn't shown up yet, I guess we'll just begin. So without further ado, on with the review.
Kaka. Da 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 da.
I too got the mic. Thank you.
Cough to death on stream.
You didn't make it to the video.
Time one bastard.
I'm gonna turn it down.
Someplace else to be. Maybe some other time. Maybe somewhere far from me. I know it's you.
Okay, immediately I'm getting James Bond vibes from this.
Only one bastard.
A James Bond Starkid-esque thing would be pretty cool, actually.
A James Bond thing starring Ted Spankovsky. I am very afraid now. Oh yeah, the sinking into the water, very much like the opening credits of James Bond's.
Is someone painted gold a thing of James Bond?
There's literally a James Bond film called Goldfinger, so yes.
Oh.
I'm Uncle Goldeneye.
Also, why does your audio sound weird?
I don't know. How can you describe what the problem is?
You sound like you have a. You sound like Alistair, like you have a radio filter on. Like
Hey, one
like
got arrested for jambalaya? I think I've got too much gain or something. I'll just...
Yeah, it's like it's giving me Alistair vibes. I'm like, are you Alistair? You're actually plot twist. You're Alistair's new VA in the series. You've been lying to us for months. You were voicing Alistair this whole time.
See, I've broken the convention now. My face has been shown on screen. In fact, I'm the only Butter Bunch member who actually frequently appears on camera.
I mean, I will, but I just find it weird looking at me because I kind of jitter around in my chair a lot, and then people kind of stare, and I don't want people staring at me and thinking I'm weird. I'm gonna be, I guess, insecure about that. I'm like, listen, I know I jitter around. I get it. That's what I do.
I mean, it is something that I've noticed that happens, but it's not really a thing like, okay, well, whatever. I think it's the thing I think of more when you're in frame is the fact that your face tends to be like all the way down here or something.
Listen, my monitors are very high. My monitors are very high up. Okay, compared to my my lovely face.
I see. Well, okay, that's the thing that I tend to notice more than anything else. But hey, if there's an actual reason for it, then so be it. Add spies from the Starkid Jason group, Tin Can Bros, List of Things, is James Bond like musical. We've already talked about Tin Can Bros. Someone mentioned that, I think in the first Starkid video that we did, the guy didn't like musicals, someone said that the Tin Can Bros were a thing, and how many of things we're to see. Specifically, I'm looking forward to the Scooby-Doo one that I've heard about.
Wait, what? Where? What?
And this is why. That Aiden is going to enjoy it as well. I've not seen any Tin Can Bros things, and it was the chat who told me they existed. But yeah, I'm very much aware that we're going to...
We need Scooby-Doo right now. We're just stream's changing right now. No, we're not. It's not changing. No, Scooby-Doo comes first. Okay, no, we don't.
Okay, yeah. Next major thing we'll do that next Starkid adjacent thing. We'll do a Tin Can Bros video, and then we'll go back to Nightmare Time because it's good. It's good to vary these up.
It's good to diversify it.
Yeah. Not that Has Been Hotel's like Starkid affiliated, but
Starkid is totally.
Imagine that parallel universe. Team Starkid Has Been Hotelka. Oh my.
Well, I think the guy who plays the old man all the time should be Charlie. I don't know why. I just think
the guy who plays the old man all the time.
Yeah, the old man scientist.
Oh, sorry, Professor Hitchens. Okay.
Professor Hitchens takes on Charlie's role for some reason. It would be hilarious.
You know what? I can actually see a Professor Hitchens musical parody of Has Been Hotel starring Professor Hitchens as Charlie.
Today is gonna be a happy day in hell.
That sounds like Miss Littlewit.
Yeah, it also gives me vibes of what's her name from Jimmy Neutron, the teacher who's kind of like a bird.
I actually don't know. I haven't.
Yeah, it's like Jimmy. I don't know that teacher, bird lady.
I see.
Like a bird. I don't remember. It's been too long since I watched Jimmy Neutron. Okay, it's been too long.
Same here. I watched part of the Jimmy Neutron movie in Spanish. So there you go.
Oh, you know what?
And if people are wondering why I know Hugh Neutron's voice and what he sounds like, it's because of Devil Artemis.
You know, we should totally, you know, do like Jimmy Neutron nights one day. Go through Jimmy Neutron and just watch all of it.
I suppose, yeah. Fair enough.
Ooh, crossfading.
Yeah. Happens a lot in these intros. Oh, it's the same person with different styles of singing. I want to see some Salvador Dali style melted clocks in this intro. I was literally about to say, I don't care what we've been. Oh, I care about when, and then.
Silhouettes dancing behind clocks, yes.
This, again, truly, this is truly a James Bond intro.
You know, this is truly beautiful. This is the most beautiful intro I've ever seen, guys. Mm-hmm. It's so strange, yet beautiful at the same time.
Yeah. It's still Mariah. I'm kind of curious about this actually, because either someone had to put on like a bodysuit to be like cropped out of this, or someone had to go frame by frame and mask it. And
actually, no. There is a there is a effect where you can make the whole screen black, or like you know how like you apply a tent, just make the tent on both the same color. So you can.
Okay, so someone on a green screen can do this, and then
green screen, and then you tent the person, and bam, silhouette dancing. Yes, that's such a beautiful face.
I think that's a clip from the actual from the guy doing like musicals.
Everyone agrees. It was a lovely service. Now, the reception buzzes with the newlyweds' family, friends, loved ones, and that one gross guy from Paul's work. Paul and Emma had expressly not sent this man an invitation. They assumed some sense of shame would keep him away. After all, who would have the balls to show up to a wedding completely uninvited?
Me! No, I wouldn't.
After when Caitlin would.
Well, actually, technically, no, they were invited. They were just, invited under false pretense, because like the mom was like, oh yeah, just pretend to be your cousin.
I see. It's because they kept on saying they crashed a wedding afterwards.
I mean, technically they didn't crash because they were technically invited.
Weddings.
It's just weird.
Yeah. Aiden was so ready to say me. Yeah, should we? Aiden's been watching that one Maroon 5 music video where they crash a bunch of weddings. I'm pretty sure it was for Sugar.
Romantic. The perfect place to get some action. He spots a promising mark.
Get some action at a wedding? I mean, that seems kind of weird.
I think because a lot of people get very drunk and like start like thinking about like how lonely they might be in theory, and so they decide to seek comfort in others. In theory, I'm not saying this actually happens.
True, but this gives me vibes where you see those videos where it's like, oh yeah, the groom has a special night, where like the groom cheats on his future bride or husband or whatever on their wedding night.
I think what we're talking about here is more to do with stag do's rather than the wedding itself.
Yeah. Although honestly, I wouldn't want to flirt with someone at a wedding because like that'd be kind of awkward. Like I don't want to, like they're here to see a wedding. Like they probably wouldn't reciprocate or be like, oh yeah, let's be romantic now. Kind of weird.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say you want to flirt with someone on a stag do, which also again completely valid.
Stag do. I don't know.
Well, your own, in theory. Which
Yeah.
now that I think about it, there's a high probability that because stag dudes tend to be mostly just guy friends, that whoever you end up marrying in the future might have like a similar friendship circle of guys to use. They might have to split into 2 separate stag groups, just go back and forth. I don't actually know. Then again, if I ever have a stag do, I'm not making it guy exclusive. That'd be terrible. Like half of my friends are female. Why would I do that?
Ski charm.
Nah, no women allowed.
no girls allowed with the S backwards. It's written by Ross.
Damn,
Exactly.
girl. You're looking real sexy in that getup. Weddings, huh? Nothing makes me hornier. How about the two of us sneak
Don't
out?
say that to someone. Do not say that to someone.
I think you're starting to see the reason behind the title of this video.
Yeah, listen, okay, look, okay, like, listen, there have been times where I've got DMs, like, on Instagram a few times, where people have been forward to the point where it makes me uncomfortable. It's like, okay, this is the first message you sent me. No, I do not feel comfortable.
Oh wow.
Like, listen, it's like, okay, a little too forward.
See, and you say that you don't attract anyone, like.
It's happened on rare occasion.
I was gonna say
happened
that's
a handful of times, and it's kind of scared me, and I don't like it. It's just like, do not
that's
scare
never
me.
happened to me on Instagram.
I get shocked. Listen, I like a lot of pictures of men. Okay, listen, the amount of pictures I like of men on Instagram.
That might be why I barely like anyone's pictures on Instagram.
Yeah.
So messages me.
Yeah, I like a lot of pictures.
I had not considered.
I agree, Prism. What happened to hello? How are you? My name is. It's a meme for TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good meme.
Perform our own marriage of sorts. Your ring. My finger. Huh?
Oh my. Ugh.
She stares back at him.
Are you seriously trying to pick me up at my own wedding? You're such a fucking creep.
I was just asking myself, like, who is he talking to? I can see, I just as Donna in the corner there, but it's like, oh no. I think that's Donna.
I'm a fucking creep. I'm a fucking creep for thinking that the bride looks beautiful. You know what, Emma? You don't have to be so.
What do you mean? You were trying to ask me out on my wedding. This is weird.
This is the same person who, in an alternate timeline, called her the crabby one that never gets my order right at Beanies, and not the latte hate.
You know, I like that term, a latte hate.
That was from the guy doing like musicals. That was.
Oh yeah, look. Okay, I forgot about that line. Okay, it's a good line now.
Latte hate. Yeah.
If you're ever like flirting with barista, bam, latte hate.
I hope to never find myself in that situation. Mostly because it made the other person uncomfortable. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, if you know them, if you're already flirting and they're reciprocating.
Okay. Yeah.
No, thank you, Ted, and I would have been fine.
She's getting married! Why are you even trying?
There is that.
Thank you, Ted.
Come on, Charlotte!
My husband's right over there,
Oh yeah, Charlotte's back.
Ted. And why do you want to try on my wedding ring anyway?
Debonair lines are just wasted on you, aren't they?
Then why are you flirting?
With Charlotte, he doesn't exactly have to use any of those lines. They've already got a thing going.
Yeah.
That's only strike 2. He's not out.
Oh, wait a minute. Doth mine ears deceive me? It's BB.
We start. Oh, you're just in time. We're in the beginning, and we were stalling for you earlier. We were stalling.
By which Ada means is the first scene.
Oh, I see. Sorry, no, things were wonky. I didn't see the link until now.
Oh, I see. Wait, I sent like a bunch of different links to the actual stream itself in other places.
Yeah.
Anyway, doesn't matter. You're here now. That's what's important. You missed Ted hitting on Emma in her own wedding.
Out yet.
Wait, I got a
Please
question.
just
Is Emma
right
the
over to-
lesbian, by the way?
She is. she is getting married to a man, so no.
Okay, which one's the lesbian?
That I'm pretty sure you're thinking of
Deb?
God, no, well, Deb is the girlfriend. Why am I blanking? Alice. Sorry,
Alice. I was like, okay, wait. It's like, which one is this? Too many characters.
Yeah, that being said, speaking of Alice, she most likely was invited to this along with Bill, but they don't seem to be here right in this call right now. Maybe they'll be linked later.
Yeah, maybe they'll come up later.
Sylvia from the top floor. You know what?
Oh, it wasn't Don. It was Sylvia. My bad.
You can get on top of me whenever you want. You know what I mean, cowgirl?
Ugh, if my man saw you talking to me like that, he'd kick
An accent.
your head.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there he is. See, I told you. You knew he was going to be here.
We got a problem here, Spankovsky?
Bill Woodward appears and puts his arm around top floor Sylvia. She swoons.
Top floor Sylvia.
Oh, Billy.
Mm-hmm.
How the hell did this happen?
That's actually a very good question because Bill is notoriously not very successful in the romance department.
Having struck out,
maybe Sylvia has like bad issues. And she got desperate, okay?
I suppose either that or Bill just got his act together.
In the corner.
There's
another sad, pathetic bachelor.
I can't believe it.
You always go for the men. They're pretty desperate.
I don't think that's really Ted's ballpark, so to speak.
Wedding is bullshit.
What?
You're telling me, brother.
You went to a wedding
Professor Hitchens.
To flirt with people purely? Like, you didn't go for the wedding itself? Nah, I just went to flirt.
This is probably why he didn't get an invite. Well, among several reasons, really, it's Ted.
Takes a sip from his beer.
You know what you should do if you're lonely? Get a robot. An Alexa, maybe.
I thought his show-stopping number starts playing almost immediately as soon as Professor Hitchens has a line.
Siri will talk to you all night.
At the sound of her name, Hitchens is...
Hold on, Siri? Oh, no. Oh, what happened to Alexa? At this point in the timeline, oh dear.
Siri chimes in.
I'm sorry. What was that?
Not now, Siri. You little vixen.
Oh! It's a robot! It's not even a robot, it's an AI! It's not even...
Yeah, to remind you of what happened in the guy doing like musicals, when Professor Hitchens was about to open the doors to let the aliens in, he takes a moment to say goodbye to Alexa and says that he is, in all these years of solitude, he has come to love her as any woman of flesh and blood. So, he has a type. Other than the working boys, as according to the chat.
Yeah, but, you can't have sex with a robot, dude.
I mean, some robots, technically.
With a little imagination and some elbow grease, you can have sex with anything. Doesn't even have
Why do I
even
think
a car?
it's being there?
to be elbow grease.
That actually has happened on an episode of My Strange Addiction.
Google, dude.
Yeah, I
Life
remember that was
finds
horrific.
a way, my friend. Life finds a way.
I don't get it, Hitch. I used to love going to weddings. Bunch of horny, jealous bridesmaids looking for love and settling for a sloppy sad bang in a cheap hotel room. It was a magical thing.
The sad bag? I thought you were a sleazeball, Ted.
No, a sad bang.
That well has run dry,
okay.
my friend. Everyone's coupled up. And where does that leave men like us? On the sidelines.
I mean, you could always just date each other.
I don't know if you want to be in the same category as Ted.
No, most likely not. Then again, Professor Hitchens doesn't seem to be, fully there right now.
And our memories of the good old days.
The good old days when you can make women stay with you because they weren't allowed to get a job.
I think he's reminiscing about the working boys right now, so leaning more into the into the possibility of dating men here.
Yeah, I remember college. Things were different back then.
Yeah, you could just be with men and no one called you, no one thought it was weird because you just hooked up.
That's...
Yeah.
What
I was gonna say, why is hooking up with men less weird in college than afterwards?
because they write it off as just either A, experimenting, or B, as just what college
What weird
guys
version
do.
of reality were you in? Last
You
I
have never
checked.
sounded more like James Charles in your life.
Yeah, last I
Listen,
checked.
no, okay, no, listen. Unlike James Charles, I am not into 15-year-olds.
I was more referring to straight guys in this instance, because what you're implying here is that straight guys start to experiment more in college, and then they, to work out whether or not they are straight or not, and so
please,
you get more options. I think it's what you're implying here, rather
no, but okay, I'm just saying some of them act gayer than me. Okay, not
Sorry,
even
what-
joking.
That's not the point.
What strange reality were you living in? The world was not less homophobic.
Oh no, it's not.
before
It's just
your
something they
time.
didn't. It's just something they did in private.
And
what I'm
also,
saying.
acting gay is different to hooking up with guys.
Yeah, football players have been
Nah.
acting gay for centuries.
Yeah,
This is true.
kickbusters.
There's, I'm pretty sure homophobia was still just as bad as it
Oh no,
was today.
it probably
Not
was.
worse for the last 200 to 300 years.
I can
Prior to
vouch
then,
for- I can vouch for theatre kids is acting gay all the time, and at least 50% of them are straight.
yeah, I mean, historically speaking, there's a period of time where gay, completely fine, no one cared, not a second thought. And then it was hated and shunned, and now we're starting to loop back, and the pendulum is starting to swing back the other way now.
Yeah, debatable. People.
It's not debatable. I literally just said started. It's a process.
Started, yeah.
Use your brain. If you see, you can clearly see it.
But people are trying to actively pull the pendulum back.
It's obviously not working.
Legislatively speaking, it's working.
No, that's not going to change
good,
anything.
Which isn't good, but screw America.
Yeah, the fact that you say that so openly, along with everyone else in modern day, it says exactly what's not going to work.
Also, I'm not sure B was referring to America specifically in this case, more so the entirety of the world.
Okay, the entirety of the world, fair enough. But
Americans forget other people exist. Challenge.
Nah, it's just.
Wait, we've got a challenge for Aiden as well. Don't see men for 2 minutes. I think he's already done that, to be fair.
Yeah,
within the 2 minutes that you have issued that challenge, he hasn't said it.
Yeah, no, I don't say it all the time. I just say it on occasion.
Yeah.
Listen, if you actually pay attention to my speech is actually pretty repetitious. It's just you just gotta pay attention to the exact words I'm saying, and then you're like, oh, it's a lot more repetitious.
You mean repetition?
Repetitious.
Yeah, as in he employs lots of repetition, and therefore it is repetitious.
Not the
right, but he doesn't employ a lot of repetitious.
Yeah,
so that's why he said his speech is repetitious. The first person to say repetition was you trying to correct him. He said it correctly.
That's because he should have been saying repetition. I don't.
No, he shouldn't. You demonstrated just now why he shouldn't have done that.
My speech is very repetition. My speech is very repetition. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that doesn't work. I don't know what you're talking about here, baby.
I mean,
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I was clearly hearing something different.
And saying something different. Both of them wrong. Moving on.
Real love. With a real woman. I mean, that's how I viewed her. As a person. Not just a collection of curves and crevices.
Isn't that I don't know. I think you do just view them as a bunch of curves and
he's
crevices.
He's reminiscing about someone in the past. This is foreshadowing for his traveling in time.
He's using past tense.
Jenny.
Oh, I was about to be like, dang.
The best friend I ever had.
You wanted to sleep with your best friend?
People say in their wedding vows all the time that they're marrying their best friend. In fact, I think actually even Paul in the previous episode said that.
I've said multiple times that I literally don't hook up with anyone unless I had a prior relationship with them.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's not uncommon.
I know, but oof, best friend. Dang, that's close.
They're probably best friends for a reason. Maybe they weren't meant to stay at that rank. I don't know.
Well, clearly she's not in the picture anymore, so
I remember
it didn't
She
work
got hit
out.
by a bus.
She what? She pulled her Regina George?
No, 'cause she survived.
We don't know. That might have happened. We're not sure. Although chances are it's more likely that Ted messed it up somehow.
the night I
Yeah.
lost her for good.
That was when Ted said his
October.
first sexist thing.
Yeah.
Ted
Again,
just started. Ted
again,
revealed
say-
himself to be a raging
yeah.
sexist, and then it's like, oh, okay, I'm leaving you. And
No,
then
knowing,
he's like,
knowing Hatchetfield was supposed to think that he lost her for good in that way, as in like he said something sexist and then she broke up with him. But more likely the twist is going to be that she's dead.
nah,
17th,
wait.
2004.
My guess for this plot is that she's gonna somehow come back to life or something.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting given the context clues we've had so far. but
Yeah,
without on the
probably
title, but
probably
okay.
having like time travel, but
I was in my apartment, trying to build up the nerve to make a move, with a little liquid courage, right? Guess I had one too many and passed out alone. I got a letter the next day. It was
I'm gonna just probably his fault.
Danny.
Wow, Latias.
Well,
Turns out she was in
he
my-
did just say he drank a bunch. This definitely is starting to lead in the direction now of it being his fault.
He also said he
Yeah.
passed out in his apartment alone.
with me too.
here's my theory. It's like a time thing where basically present day him time travels to the past, and through that time travel, he ends up accidentally bringing her with him to the present. So when she vanished in the past, it turns out she vanished because he, from this present time point, took her to the present.
Oh yeah, but well, I mean, I did. Well, he just said he got a letter from her, so I'm not sure if he's saying she's vanished entirely yet. So let's
She
see.
couldn't see me anymore. It was too painful.
Wow.
Okay, so never did see her. Fine. In that case, maybe that is what happened.
Some guy was bolder than me.
Him! You were bolder
With him.
than you.
He's not gonna know that yet, is he?
That's my
Fine.
theory.
Never saw her again.
It's
I
a
lost
closed
the
loop.
love of my life to some pushy asshole. So I became that pushy asshole.
Obviously.
And I never looked back. Until now.
Well, you can't change the past.
You know, this story is going in the direction of Aiden's theory, which it very well might be, actually. That's a very solid basis there. You gotta wonder how Ted became the way that he did in the realities where he doesn't end up getting this power.
Something like that happened to me once.
What if that's ground zero for all these other timelines?
Oh, so every time that Ted travels back, it's just he's creating a different
Ted
point.
has single-handedly created the Hatchetfield universe.
Chad?
I don't give a fuck.
Ted pushes his way to the front of the line at the open bar.
Oh, he started with Chad that time. That was his mistake. You have to start with Greg and Steve and Stu and everyone first for Ted to get invested.
Yells to the guy serving drinks.
Hey, pal, give me a vodka.
Bartender pours him a glass. Ted glares.
What did you learn about
The
drinking last time, man?
Buddy.
He grabs the
Well, he hasn't got a girlfriend now, so you know.
And
If
he never
passes
will
out, he passes
again.
out. Ted's real surname is Lang. Oh, so the same surname as the writer of the series. That I guess
Yes.
would actually make a lot of sense. Yeah.
I see. Ant-Man worked on this, huh?
the whole bottle of
No, it's more. Was a reference more to like Nick and Matt Lang rather than Scott Lang. But yeah.
Smirnoff, then finds a nice empty table to wallow in self-pity. Ted polishes off his fourth drink.
Look at everyone. Having so much fun. Such a fun time.
Over the sound system, the DJ announces,
All right, everyone. We'd like to invite the newlyweds to the dance floor for their first dance as husband and wife. Yeah.
The crowd goes wild while
Well,
Ted.
he's gonna
pulls
ruin
out
their
brothers.
dance.
Yeah, I was about to say he's gonna say some regrettable things now.
No, I think he's gonna do some regrettable things. He's drinking. He's probably gonna go up and be like, "Now listen, this is my dance" or something, you know.
I mean, sure. Right now it's mostly verbal though.
Yeah.
Has anybody seen the groom?
Well, the drunker you are, the more.
Just look all
I wouldn't be surprised if he goes, "I object."
It's like, this is the reception. You missed the actual wedding. Too late.
No one can seem to find where the happy husband has run off to.
We
Then
know he's run off
Ted
to.
spots Paul a few tables over.
Hey, Paul!
Rather than heading for the dance floor, Paul rushes to Ted.
There you are! What are you doing here?
He grabs Ted by the arm, pulls him out of his seat, and starts dragging him toward the cheering crowd.
I don't want to watch you dance.
Come on, Ted! She's waiting for you!
Wait,
They
what?
push their way through the throngs. Then, rather than stepping out
This is
himself,
giving me vibes
Paul
of like the
pushes
eye
Ted
park,
onto the dance
the
floor.
evil park with eyes.
The blinky one. Yeah.
Oh god.
Which according to BB's theory is Ted's fault as well.
Well, I don't know what Ted's fault could. I
It's
don't know
all
what Ted's
Ted.
time. I don't know if Ted's time traveling could cause Blinky to.
No,
come
I
into
mean,
existence.
if Ted created several different timelines when traveling, that means that Blinky took advantage of one of them.
Actually,
So
that's
Ted opened up
fair.
the doors for Blinky to take control. Yeah.
But that would
Then,
imply that
when the
Blinky. Where would Blinky exist beforehand? Like some demon dimension?
In the black and white, we already have the answer from
There's
Black
a whole
Friday.
song about that.
Indeed.
Bride turns toward him. He freezes.
Actually, there's two, but I haven't heard the second one yet.
Ted Spankowski stares into the eyes of the woman he lost 15 years ago.
What? Jenny?
She stands
How very
there in her
convenient.
wedding dress, blushing.
Hey, Teddy. Wow. Here we are.
In reality, this is just Ted blind drunk thinking that someone looks vaguely like Jenny in his blurry vision, hallucinating. He actually tries to plant a kiss on her. It's like, get off me! And suddenly all the guests are around.
hard cut them later, just on the couch and in his tears and throw up like. Eh.
No, he's just deliriously passed out on the floor, going like, "I knew you'd come back to me," or something like that.
He tries to
Ted
kiss the
stares in
floor.
disbelief, trying to piece together what on earth is happening. He looks around, bewildered.
It's actually Paul.
As he does, he picks up on tiny inconsistencies.
It's like she's waiting for you. Then Paul transforms in front of him.
Hello, Paul. I am a shapeshifter.
No,
You remember when you came back from me all those years ago?
Oh, you know what's interesting though? Last night I was watching a Supernatural episode about a shapeshifter that shapeshifts into what you desire most, and then it finds you and rips out your heart.
There's actually a Red Dwarf episode that is very similar to that, except instead of ripping out your heart, it impregnates you.
Tuxedo.
Oh, that's even
Then
worse.
he
Wait,
notices
what
the
if you're a guy? Will it still impregnate you?
Yes, because the entire main cast of Red Dwarf, apart from the computer, are all male. So
Oh.
yes, that is exactly what happens.
They're also all trans.
No.
No.
I
on
don't
the
think
back
they-
wall. The one that once read, "Congratulations."
No,
Paul
so
and
it's
Emma."
like the one impreg story in Fazbear Frights.
Or like Adventure Time with how Jake's dad gave birth to Jake because an alien, I guess bit his head or nuzzled his head. I don't know. It was.
Well, there you go. See,
was confusing.
it's just like in Red Dwarf, an alien man then transforms into what you desire most, and then it impregnates you. Yeah, see, it's all similar. Yeah. Prism's had enough of these plots. It's like, why is this a thing?
Do you want to know about all the stories of Mpreg?
I know.
Imagine dating someone who's into this stuff. You hear stories.
There, you want to know Plush Trap's first words to Matt? It was like something
Inject
like
me.
No, I think it's
Inject
something
me, Jeremy.
No, I think it was
That's
something
not the
along the
same.
lines. Also, I
an
said
entry.
Matt, not Jeremy, but also I think something along the lines of "Thank you, Daddy," I believe was his first words before he ran away.
Okay, to be fair, that in most context is fine.
Yeah, think about Purple Shep. You said it all the time.
Yeah, in most contexts is fine. In just some contexts, it's gets very weird.
Indeed.
Eyes nearly pop
I think
out of
most
his
people would
skull.
consider
It
that one story quite weird.
now reads,
It's
congratulations,
Freddy's.
Ted and Jenny.
It's kind of what you get.
The bride steps toward Ted and takes his hand.
I didn't know we were getting
Okay,
married.
Just remember the lessons. One goes here, and you lead.
A soft, soulful song, a love song begins.
Cut to him like dancing alone, and it's even like vaguely similar.
The two sway back and forth.
Jenny, am I dreaming? Are
Probably.
you real?
Probably not.
Ted, you didn't have one of my cousin's edibles, did you? We were gonna take
Maybe.
Also, why are your cousins bringing edibles to a wedding? Okay, listen.
Oh, I thought she said Oedipus, and I was like, hold on a second.
Edibles.
Yes.
I
Ted
think BB has a
cannibalized
hearing
person
issue.
named Oedipus.
BB,
Yeah.
do you need to get your ears checked?
I'm getting that
don't think
impression
so.
from the repetition thing from earlier. Now this, I'm getting concerned.
Ted feels tears stream down his cheeks.
Jenny.
Also, KW, the books are actually fantastic. Just skip Fazbear Frights. Except for the first Fazbear Frights book, actually. That one's pretty solid. Everything else pretty hit or miss.
Our wedding.
Tales from the Pizzaplex is fantastic. Wacky, but great.
I can't believe it. You're so beautiful. I love you so much.
He clings to the
Cuts to reality and he's
feels
saying
a weight
this to the actual wife.
Look at him. Look at his arm.
in his arms. Feels her breath on his neck.
I think it's
This
just
is no
acting because they
dream.
physically can't dance.
Jenny is there with him.
Oh.
He stops dancing. He just stands there, holding her.
Okay, Teddy. I'll lead.
Soon, the song ends and the crowd goes wild. Their family and friends envelop the happy couple. Mr. Davidson slaps Ted on the back.
Congratulations, Ted.
Paul gives a big thumbs up.
Is that the ape man?
You're the man.
Well, no.
I know, I thought.
Ted.
Later, Ted sits in
Ted was
the
more of an
place
ape
of
man than
honor with
him.
his bride, finishing off a piece of wedding cake. He's in utter bliss.
Teddy.
I don't
tonight has
remember
been
our own
everything
wedding.
I always wanted.
From under the table, Jenny takes out a present, wrapped in glittering yellow paper. She hands it to Ted.
Will you marry me? We have a perfect venue and it's free now.
I thought we hijacked their wedding.
Yeah, much like that homeless guy did in this exact same wedding, screaming that it wasn't the real Emma.
What's this?
A little something for you.
A little something.
Ted
It's
tears
called the
reveal-
incubator. I got it from the back of Spencer's. It even deposits eggs, if you know what inside you.
But surely, if it's an incubator, the eggs would go inside of it rather than.
No, it goes inside you. That's not even a joke, by the way. I say that as a
That's
joke.
not what incubators mean.
Well, it's called the incubator, and it puts eggs inside you.
Okay, sure, fine.
If you know what I'm.
Golden.
No, I mean
hue.
literally. I think it's really cool.
Yes, I know what you mean.
It has bizarre patterns crisscrossing its six
Oh my
sides.
god, this is the crap. What's it like? Pinhead? Crap. Crap. It's like Pinhead. So there's this
Harry
demon.
from SpongeBob?
No, there's this demon box that you like. It's like a weird Rubik's Cube demon box thing. You open it and it summons these people who like will drag you to hell.
That's right. I want to say, I don't know if this was in the original Jason version.
Hellraiser! It's Hellraiser, the Hellraiser franchise.
Yeah, I don't remember if
And-
this was in the original Freddy vs. Jason, but I know that in at least one of the endings, there's a version where it ends with, I think it was Jason getting pulled down to hell and then meeting Pinhead. And that was meant to
What is it?
aid in the big core cinematic universe that never came to be.
Much of us say that they aid as much as, make possible, but fair enough.
A box?
Well, I mean, it was technically already
Oh my
possible,
god,
'cause
it's Chuckles! It's
that-
Chuckles!
Yeah!
Our favorite.
We are from the black and white, Gideon.
It's fitting, though. It's kind of fitting.
I think just keeps it. You know what? I guess that is kind of fitting for the character of Chuckles to keep coming back when you least expect him to.
Ted looks up.
Maybe I was
Jenny
right
is
about the
gone.
Hellraiser thing, because this is kind of what happens. This is similar
So are all the
to the
wedding
Hellraiser.
The hall is
Oh.
silent. Rotten food sits on abandoned plates.
Oh.
The fresh roses.
Did you
in the
open a demon
centerpieces
box
all
again?
turned black. Standing on the dance floor is a solitary figure. It wears a baggy, furry bodysuit.
Okay, now it could be the 8-Man.
It's yellow.
No, wait, I think I know who it is.
It's Hellraiser.
You do?
What? No, I think it's what's his name from the carnival? I think it's
Blinky. You think it's Blinky? You mean saying?
Blinky's my theory. I think it's Blinky. Blinky's return to us.
Potentially, though. Blinky was
Because-
like purple more than yellow, but fair enough.
Dirty.
What?
Stinking. Worst of all is its head. A motionless,
There you go. It's Blinky's cousin, Stinky.
demented goat mask. It has
Oh,
glassy,
is it
evil
goat?
eyes, a slack
It's
jaw,
the devil.
big crooked teeth, and a
The
flapping
devil.
wet tongue.
It's J Schlatt's final form.
Oh wait, it also could be Krampus as well.
Krampus is the main villain.
Okay.
Falls from his seat in terror.
What?
The thing points to the box in Ted's hand.
That's where I keep all my little toys, Teddy Bear. Toys like you.
Joke's on you, I'm no one's toy. I'm too
Where's
stubborn
Jenny?
to do that.
Tick-tock, Teddy Bear. Tick-fucking-tock.
In an
TikTok?
instant, creature
This ain't the time to watch
disappears from the
TikTok,
dance
sir,
floor and slams
okay?
onto the table, inches from Ted's face. Dinnerware shatters beneath its hooves. The nightmare goat grabs the front of Ted's jacket and lifts
Run.
him into the air. Ted stares into its dead eyes.
I'm coming for your ass, Teddy Bear.
Ted screams and screams.
When you have to be close to your camera, but your microphone's going to peak if you scream, but you have to do it anyway because it's part of the scene.
Until Paul puts a hand on his shoulder.
Hey. Hey, Ted?
Ah, Christ.
Ted whirls in his seat, spilling the cup of vodka he's holding. It soaks the front of his shirt.
Would you...
I know he's back.
Would you lay off the booze, buddy?
Paul?
Ted looks around. The reception hall is full once more. The banner on the wall again reads, "Congratulations, Paul and Emma."
What happened to Jenny, Paul?
Hey, I got a favor to ask. I forgot to hand in my weekly reports on Friday.
I don't trust
think
you.
could run
Are
back to
you
the
even the
office
real
and
Paul? Is that
slide
what
'em
is
under Mr.
real?
Davidson's door? I do it myself, but it's my wedding night. I know you're
Oh.
not here with anybody.
You weren't even invited. You gotta kick him out. He wasn't even supposed to be here.
This might be his tactic. Because Paul it's very uncommon for him to forget his weekly reports.
Comfortable, including Emma. So, could you be a pal?
Ted blinks up at Paul, then looks at the bottle of Smirnoff. It's nearly empty. Was it all a dream? A hallucination? Ted lurches to his feet, drunk and sad.
Fine. I know when I'm not wanted.
You weren't wanted in the first place. You crashed the wedding.
Also, yeah, we know it's Paul 23, but for all intents and purposes, at this point, he's acting like the regular Paul, so yeah.
Hey, that's news to me.
Paul takes the bottle from Ted and pats him on the shoulder.
I
Paul
called you a
23.
Yeah, from last episode. Remember? These are the first Hatchetfield things that are connected.
Thanks for
I wasn't here for last time, okay?
Oh, okay. Well, it doesn't matter for right now.
It does explain
Later,
why
at
they
the
were. No, yeah. Now that I think about it, he wasn't there in the last one, was he?
That's what he just said. So yes, BB.
deserted CCRP building. Ted rummages through Paul's
Wait, who just said that?
workstation, trying to find his weekly report.
You are losing it today.
Where
Well,
are
I mean,
they?
who? I didn't think it and broke the fourth wall. That feels like a pretty big deal.
Sorry, who are you saying broke the fourth wall now?
I don't know. I'm asking you that question.
No one. What?
You heard someone break the fourth wall, but you don't know who it was.
No, you said that someone already said that.
I said that Aiden already answered. They said that he wasn't here last time.
But I thought
before
Aiden
you made
didn't
the
see-
realization. No, he did not, which is why when you said, oh yeah, he wasn't there last time, you know, was entirely pointless because you're acknowledging right now that Aiden wasn't here and Aiden had just said...
Oh, you think I'm
that
talking
he
about
was-
Aiden?
What?
Yes.
No. No, not Aiden. I'm talking about dude up here, sexist, womanizer guy.
Okay, so you're referring to the fact that Ted was not at the
Ted,
wedding last
yeah.
time, which I'm pretty sure he actually was. I think I remember him from doing a little bit of last
Was he?
time. But then again, we didn't even get too much detail on the reception in the last episode because it was mostly Emma getting cold feet like right before, you know, fake Emma obviously, and then going to get married, and then afterwards, you know, enjoying, you know, blissful married life until real Emma shows up and, you know, stuff goes on.
God, Paul,
Oh
you
yeah, so I
fucking
guess then the divergent point would have to be that one dude busting in and saying that she's not the real Emma, right?
Which has already happened because that was part of the wedding. We're in the reception now.
Well, did we see it happen in this though?
We saw it
No.
happen last time. Therefore,
Okay, so that's
we
why
need
I'm
to see
saying
it
I
again.
don't think that did happen then. What could have happened?
What?
What could have? Well, I mean that only makes sense, right? Because if this is taking place after that big like event, then what that must mean then, right, is like they never came in. That's why she never got cold feet, and this is still going on like this way.
No,
So
Emma changed her mind after the homeless guy, this guy, you know, was catered away. Emma went outside. She confessed to being a fake Emma, but then Paul agreed to marry her anyway, and they came back in and got married. Now they are having that reception. No divergence has happened as of yet.
but we're seeing something different. So I'm thinking there might have been.
We're seeing a different
scene that we weren't presented with
perspective.
earlier. Good.
I'm betting
lord.
the homeless
All
guy didn't
over
bust
again.
in.
He stumbles into his office and pulls out the documents on his computer. He clicks print and leans back in his chair.
Come on, stupid printer. It's just black text. Why does it take so damn long? Ugh.
Hey man, would you want it black or would you want it white?
85 years.
Well, I guess yeah. To be fair, if you're printing something, most likely black.
85 years.
Time traveling
In a
printer?
drunken stupor and an incredibly
Maybe.
comfy chair, Ted can't seem to keep his eyes open. He drifts off into a deep, dreamless sleep. Time passes, and the world moves on as Ted Spankowski lays in his office snoring. He's ripped back to waking life by his phone's blaring alarm.
Huh?
He blinks, completely
His phone alarm sounds like a piano. You roll with it.
disoriented by his surroundings. It's his office, but in his current state, he fails to notice the hanging cobwebs or the thick layers of dust. The previous night returns to him piece by piece.
Right. I fell asleep. Ah, shit. Whoa, it is Monday. Stupid Monday meetings, right?
He lumbers to the door, turns the latch, but finds it won't open.
Hey,
His door also sounds like a piano. Again, very important.
what the hell?
This is very important to lore, guys.
He
Take notes.
jiggles the knob to no avail. The thing's jammed.
Damn door!
He kicks it, then backs up and slams into it with his shoulder. Once, twice, and crack! It flies open. Outside his office, dozens of CCRP employees look up from their holopads and stare at Ted, faces full of puzzlement. He shrugs.
Holopads, okay.
Sorry. It sticks all the time.
I guess to go to the past, you've got to specify negative 85 or something.
All at once, the employees turn back to their work. Ted closes the door. As he does,
Ted also sounds like a piano. He just like talks about playing his teeth.
he notices the jagged nails jutting from its side. That's why it wouldn't open. Some practical joker nailed his door shut. Bill, he figures. Ted shambles down the hall, rubbing
Yeah, classic Bill, always pulling pranks. You know Bill, right?
his temples.
Jesus, my head. Oh.
He makes a quick pit stop by the break room to chug a bucket of water and say hi to his buddy Paul. But the break room looks different. The walls are made of frosted glass, covered with digital displays. And just Ted's luck, someone...
We didn't go to the
has
past, we
removed
went to the future.
Again, I already implied that, because if you guys got to go past, I guess got to say negative 85. You just said 85 years.
Water cool.
And in the future, everything is chrome.
Everything is glass, apparently, in this reality, but you're close.
Cue that one SpongeBob episode.
Yeah.
No, I imagine they see Bill number 1 here, and it's revealed that, that the original Bill is actually from the future.
Cooler. Worst of all, there's no sign of his best friend Paul.
Sorry, I meant Paul.
Where the hell is Paul?
He's dead.
Yeah. Honeymooners. How cute. One of these days, Paul, bang, zoom, right to the moon.
Per usual, Ted creeps in.
That's a very old reference. I think it's from... Was it from I Love Lucy? I think it was the name of the series.
Into the Monday morning meeting about 20 minutes late. He falls into a free seat in the back and tries to look like he gives a shit about whatever CCRP does. A scientist...
Whatever he does. He's been working there for years, hasn't worked it out yet.
...stands at the front of the boardroom, giving a presentation. Behind her is a huge holographic display showing a metallic humanoid skeleton.
This synthetic life form will completely eliminate the need for a human workforce. It will be compliant, efficient, and, given our database's genetic material to choose from,
that might not be the best idea to pitch to your current workforce.
Yes, hello, human workforce. We are going to replace you. Look at what these
Introducing
guys do.
the reason you'll be fired soon.
That happened in FNAF.
Yeah.
I think we've established that FNAF is not exactly the best example of how to tell a story.
Aesthetically pleasing.
I disagree.
Wait, a question. Why does your workers gotta be aesthetically pleasing? Like, fam, oh man, our workers gotta be 100% hot all the time. Because, if I'm gonna have to look at these robots every day, they need to be hot, okay? They need to be super hot.
Well, I guess it depends on the function the robot would have, because FNAF at its core right now is an anti-capitalism story, and no, I'm being.
I know, but it just feels like dang.
No,
I'm
Scott,
I'm kind of surprised. Yeah. I'm kind of surprised, dang.
But there's one story that kind of explains why there's so many robot workers in Security Breach and Ruin, which is that whenever they'd gotten the AI storyteller, right, they had been the CEO, right, Mr. Hare, I think was his name, was hey, what should we do with it or whatever, and then his storytelling team was oh, I have some ideas, and everyone's pushing out ideas, and he's man, you guys are all useless. You know what?
You guys are
I can spend less money by making this robot hook up to literally everything and just generate stories when against you. I can just get rid of you guys. He can generate all the stories for me. And it actually worked out pretty well if it didn't happen to malfunction every other robot and turn them a little bit more violent.
Well, yeah, no.
But it did its purpose.
You know, it saves you money, except for
Sure
the
did.
lawsuits inevitably coming your way because of endangerment of children. But you know, sticks and stones.
Yeah, you know, they've survived plenty of lawsuits in the past for some reason.
I'm surprised they haven't been sued into oblivion in universe. Like, dang.
They've been sued many times. I don't know why they aren't in oblivion.
All the health inspectors also become possessed ghosts or whatever.
Yeah.
On the holographic
Anyone suing them, they
displays-
just kill them, put them in a suit, and just be like, "Okay, now you're a new animatronic, so sue that."
And then cut to like a giant robot standing, like, you know, addressing a jury.
No, I can picture the
I may be an old-fashioned robot, but I do say.
the robot calls up OSHA. Hey guys, I think there's some workplace endangerment. An incident just happened.
It is me, the OSHA otter. I only exist because of this franchise. I was once human.
Skin wraps around the robotic frame. It now is an exact double of Emma Perkins.
Oh my!
Emma's like Emma's the peak of human appearance. Like, you didn't even try to randomize the appearance.
Yeah, a further question would be, they have a database on a human from 85 years ago who didn't even work for their company.
God, you guys are making a robot that looks like Paul's wife? Oh, you guys are sick. I like it. I guess there is a robot you can bone.
What?
Everyone in the room
That's a reference to the line he said to Professor Higgins
know.
earlier. Yeah.
stares blankly at Ted. The scientist clears her throat, unamused.
Well, it's an android, and that's not its purpose.
Well, you talked about the aesthetically pleasing portion.
You hear that,
Well,
everyone?
okay, why
No.
does it matter if you're aesthetically pleasing if you're not going to be boning them? That's all I'm saying, you know?
No employee of CCRP will be boning the synthetic life form.
They won't even be employed. You said
Yeah.
that the workforce will be more efficient, so there will be no CCRP employees. So I guess your statement is technically correct, but not for the reason you stated.
Really? Really? Okay, I guarantee.
Oh, hi, Ghosty. Yes, you did hear boning robots. Unfortunately.
Yeah,
I love that
but
that's
all
telling you.
these robots that are in place to workforce is also has to be aesthetically pleasing.
This is turning into that one Rick and Morty episode.
Do you think they'll change the
that will-
appearance as soon as like beauty like standards change slightly? Like if there's like something in fashion, like say like a slightly smaller butt is in fashion, do you think they're gonna go into each of the androids and be like modifying the butt? Yeah, it's smaller now.
Based on how this seems to work, I think they would load up a different DNA sample of somebody with a larger butt in that case, and maybe do it that way. I'm kind of picturing this in the same way that, you know, like in the last episode of Alien Force, where Vilgax has like the huge army with like blank DNA and was able to transform them that way. I think that's my.
How do robots have DNA, by the way?
They don't. That was the point that was the point of Vilgax's army, was they didn't have DNA. They got it inputted into them and then became, you know, of flesh and blood. Same thing is mainly happening here, except for, I guess, because they're androids, so they're not of flesh and blood, but they're using the DNA as like a template, an aesthetic template they can from the computers.
Be the first thing you guys want to do. Try to find it all you want, but it's human nature. Build it, and they will come, right?
Okay, that's enough. Who even are you? What department are you from?
This is a legitimate question. We don't really know the answer.
Tech support.
One of the other employees.
He's in tech support, but doesn't know what tech they develop. Of course. By which I mean, like, in the other well, because the narration implies he has no idea what he's doing. As someone likes aesthetically appealing androids, I approve. You're one of those people who was into Android 18 for all the wrong reasons, aren't you?
I mean, to be fair, the androids in Dragon Ball do look pretty cool, but they don't look like androids.
Well, technically, some of them are cyborgs. So I say Android 18. That's mainly because they got called androids, but they're technically.
Wait, what's the difference between an android and a cyborg?
A cyborg is essentially a human with robotic parts, or with the human parts, I suppose. It's in between, rather than an android, which would be fully mechanical.
Stands.
And question: Am I technically an android because I have metal in my wrist?
You would be a cyborg in that instance.
Cyborg. Am I technically a cyborg because I have?
I mean,
metal in my wrist?
I think metal implants don't count. I think it has to be like you have something like electronic.
Oh, I
Like
mean,
if you if you have a pacemaker, for example, that would count, or hearing aid, yeah, like that as well.
Well, I mean, to be fair, hearing aids are implanted in you. There's something you put.
I know
on.
they are robotic parts that are planted into you that change the way that your body works. That is what being a cyborg would be. Yes.
Oh, I run the technical department, and I've never seen this guy before in my life.
Oh.
How did you get into the building?
Robert Mannion always wears the exact same clothing when not in character.
Scan his implant.
2 workers grab Ted and slam him against.
Swallow
What
a phone.
implant?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
have
Finn the human was a cyborg because he swallowed a computer that one time.
Well, actually, no. He had literally a metal arm that could do robot things and like cut and buzzsaw and stuff.
Another reason.
Conference table.
Hey, careful, dudes! I'm hungover as hell. You're gonna make me Ralph.
They take out a small device.
You're gonna
Ralph.
Gonna make me Ralph.
That's Hatchetfield slang for you.
And touch it to the back of Ted's neck. It makes a long beep, and they stare at the readout, confused.
Huh.
What is it?
Must be a malfunction. It's saying this man has no implant.
It's impossible. Call security.
Hey, don't roughhouse me, all right? I'm
This is when you
serious about
run.
Ralphing.
This is when you run.
Yeah. Oh, look at him, just like.
Out another machine, jabs it into Ted's back, and zap! A surge of electricity knocks him unconscious. Sometime later, miles beneath the Earth's surface, deep in the bowels of CCRP's Sector 19 headquarters, an urgent code black data transmission slides across a hollow screen. Something like surprise glints in the robotic eye of an
It's
enormous
just
cyborg.
tinfoil.
Not surprise, exactly. After all,
I was getting my cable to charge it. I didn't see what you meant for a second. Like, wait, tinfoil.
You're so derpy.
Knew this day would come. Question was always, when? The man-machine looks down to his steel hand. A compartment in its palm opens to reveal the locket. For the first time in years, his reconstructed heart stirs with human emotion. The long wait is finally over. Back in the tech department, Ted sits in a sterile white holding room. Behind a two-way mirror, CCRP scientists scurry about, studying readouts and poring over reams of genetic data. The doors behind them slide open, and the room goes silent.
It's futuristic tinfoil, yes,
Blank.
chrome tinfoil.
Blank.
Everything's chrome in the
Metal
future.
footsteps echo.
Okay. Oh, I like how Nick faded into into Jeff there. I can see now how they're controlling the format a lot more than in the first couple episodes. Well, I say the first full episode, really.
Steel hand clenches into a fist. A robotic eye glows red. The head scientist gulps and looks up at
Executive Kilgore.
the chrome-plated
What a name.
giant stomps toward the two-way mirror. The scientist follows, explaining,
We performed a complete genetic analysis, cross-referenced it with the company database. This is going to sound unbelievable, but this man is Fyodor Spankovsky, an employee that vanished without a trace 85 years ago. Now, here's where it gets very interesting. In 2019, this man's office was located directly above Laboratory C8, where CCRP scientists were conducting an experiment in time manipulation.
A successful experiment, it would seem.
We're still performing some tests. Right now, it's safest to keep this man in isolation. For all we know, sir, he could completely be radioactive.
Your tests are
Actually, what if he's carrying diseases that were eradicated years ago in this part of the timeline?
Probably
That
is.
is also a fair. That's also a fair question.
Because that would be a concern. It's like, oh yeah, I don't want to accidentally spread the plague to you guys, or like a cold that you haven't dealt with.
Oh, I'm sure it
for
wouldn't.
1,000 for like 100 for like a few decades, and then you haven't built up any immunity.
I mean, knowing the way that he would spread most diseases that he's likely to contract, they've got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, I don't. Even if he did have a bunch of diseases that they eradicated, I don't think it matters.
It would somewhat matter because like the younger generations wouldn't have built up any antibodies to those diseases.
Well, that's why they get shots.
But if those diseases were completely eradicated, and maybe at a certain point they stopped giving shots or stopped worrying about it because no one has it anymore. It doesn't exist anymore. You know, you don't need to get a shot anymore. But
yeah, like, I don't think that I'm vaccinated against smallpox or polio.
Yeah,
I don't believe.
I don't
I think everyone gets those, right? Isn't that
my medical certificate's fragmented into 3 different parts, so I could be wrong on that. But
I don't think
find all the relic pieces. I found it, the polio shot.
Imagine an adventure themed around that. Find the 3 missing pieces of a medical certificate. Okay. Oh, by the way, clearly Ghosty, since we're on the Butter Bunch, the nature of the images that Ghosty has sent me have changed somewhat. So I got this. That's that is a thing that exists now.
That's
now on my computer. Hooray!
Oh, Ghosty, did that thing you ordered ever come to your house? Did you finally get it?
I assume that makes sense to the pair of them.
You were on call when she ordered it.
It's time I had a word with Mr. Spankowski.
In his containment chamber, Ted reaches for a pitcher of brown liquid on the table and pours it into a cup. He takes a...
I'm not sure if the radioactive thing was mentioned in part 1 or not, because it would have been like in passing, because Ted got a very brief mention after the wedding scene, most likely because he was embroiled in this plot rather than the other one.
Also, I did just check to be completely sure, because I swear one of them you used to get shots where you're right, we don't get smallpox shots. We do get polio shots though, oddly enough.
Oh, okay.
It out.
Well, maybe I do have those. Again, but yeah, I guess smallpox would be the best example then. A disease that was completely eradicated, and therefore there was no need to, get vaccines for it now.
If someone from back in the day when smallpox was a thing were to come here and even just have some of those like germ or some of that virus, could easily cause a world pandemic where smallpox becomes a huge thing all of a sudden.
Well, you would assume in a like a hyper technological world they still have the ingredients and stuff for those shots, right?
Yes, but whether or not they'll be able to access those ingredients, prepare the vaccine, mass produce it, spread it out to the public before the disease propagates is another matter altogether.
Because once the disease starts spreading, it's gonna rip through a few thousand people, if not hundreds of thousands, before the proper vaccine could get to everyone, and
it depends on the severity of the disease and also how highly contagious it was in the first place. But yeah.
I mean, it also, I still don't think it'd be as extreme as it is today, though, because today that happens because we don't know how to fix it. In that case, they have all the they know what they need to do to fix it. It's just doing it quick.
They would still have to go through old files, go through old research, then prepare all the ingredients, source them if they need to actually go back and find something else. Like the start of penicillin was like a fungus that is not where we get like modern antibiotics from at all, mostly because penicillin is virtually useless nowadays. Yeah. And then of course prepare all that once, like I said before, mass produce it, distribute it, and by the time they've done all of that, people will have succumbed to that disease, or at the very least contracted and spread it onto more.
I would agree. I don't think it's gonna be as bad as a modern pandemic, though. Would be.
I think it'd be worse.
Still be pretty bad, or still could be. Again, it depends on how contagious the disease would actually be in the first place.
Because or like yellow fever, for example, you don't get vaccinated for that. Like yellow fever was a really bad thing back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if that were to spread around, that would be very bad for us.
I suppose the plague is also another good example of that, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, this coffee tastes like shit.
A nearby guard looks at him.
Well, okay, why are you drinking random liquid? Like, you're being held hostage, you're drinking a random liquid. Like, listen, okay, look, I wouldn't trust liquid given to me by anyone at that point, because I'm like, I don't want to be drugged, I'm not in the mood to be roofied, okay? Listen, don't roofie me. I do not appreciate it.
I will say, also, the bubonic plague also has meds and stuff still today.
Okay.
What's coffee?
The door opens.
It's
and
only
Executive
70 years.
Kilgore
You don't know what
stomps
coffee
inside.
is?
Well,
I guess Starbucks is dead at this point in the timeline.
I will say, it's interesting because MatPat made a whole theory about that
how
concept.
coffee, yeah, like the origin of coffee and like how it actually could have been the reason for like the big like scientific advancements. Yeah, I remember that one. That's one of the more interesting food theories, actually.
I agree. Yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah.
The guard bows nervously and hurries from the room.
Are the accommodations to your liking, Mr. Spenkovsky?
No.
That stare is a mechanical monstrosity.
No. Let me go.
What are you
Help.
supposed to be?
Let me go. Help. Let me go. Help. Stop kidnapping me.
His face is like, why are you singing?
I am executive.
He was
Andrew
just a drunk
Kilgore.
man sleeping in his chair. Then he woke up in the future and got captured by some scientists. I don't know. I lost him. Listen, I lost the tune. Okay?
What is a scientist?
The scientist. This is, I lost the tune. I
You
was
lost
trying.
the thread somewhere around there, yeah.
Manager-in-Chief of Sector 19. I oversee the operations of all CCRP facilities in the Western Hemisphere. I ensure production remains on schedule and enforce disciplinary measures. Here I am judge, jury, and at times, to my great satisfaction, executioner.
Okay,
Satisfaction?
pal.
You
It's
want
not-
to kill me? Oh, that's kind of sad.
Well, sometimes to great satisfaction. Whether or not he wants to do that to Ted now is still up in the air.
Not illegal to be hungover at work, okay? And I haven't read the Constitution.
Oh my
in a
god!
while.
This, why you keep acting like this is normal? None of this is normal!
Also, I'm fairly
Take
certain.
a hint!
I'm pretty sure you can't still be like a little drunk at work. I'm pretty sure that's not allowed.
You have to be sober.
I think it might be like on a case by case basis, like what the company policy actually is. And
No, I'm pretty sure it's the universal policy of you have to be sober. Because
Well, I
you're
mean,
not
I don't know
allowed
about
to drink on the
universal.
job.
I think it probably depends on the state, not so much the company. But
well, there you go. I mean, I think we established last time that Hatchetfield is apparently in Michigan, according to the comments. Again, I am learning from the comments. So I guess whatever laws apply there.
But I'm pretty sure it's the right of every American citizen to whack off in their office whenever their door is closed.
Wait, what?
Life?
I mean, that's how would he even know about that if the door was closed? Unless there are cameras in his office.
Please, you're not
Liberty
supposed to
and
do that at work either. Do not whack off in the office. No. Don't.
Pursuit of happiness.
Liberty, yes!
What?
I haven't heard that word since the Great Crash and the subsequent buyout. You don't understand,
The
Mr.
buyout of America? Because America's already been bought out by the big corporations.
I think it might have been the buyout of CCRP. Probably.
No nations any longer. Only corporations.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Okay, that's just their current That's their current modern day. Except for in modern day, we pretend like we have nations, even though we clearly are.
I will say that there is a quote. I don't remember from who, but it was a quote about sci-fi, which is sci-fi is nice because you get to show literally everything that exists already. And you don't really have to do that much work into showing it because you can say that's just how the future is.
Well,
or how the future could be, yeah.
Okay, but to be fair, with most sci-fi stuff and most dystopians, a lot of it is based off our current reality.
That's what I just said.
Oh my god! Yeah, it's speculative fiction based on if one particular or multiple particular trends continue the way they are, where could we end up? Or sometimes other dystopians will like introduce a separate element and then make it more extreme version, like The Handmaid's Tale, for example. But yeah, what Bees more referring to is more like the Orwellian style of dystopia here.
True.
Sci-fi as a genre is designed as the genre of consequence, really.
Although I will say, I do find it funny when people will like talk about stories, but even though those stories are meant to parallel real life things, and then they'll be in support of those real life things, even though but even though when they're reading the dystopia book, they're like, "Oh yeah, that's a horrible society. That's terrible."
There is a lack of media literacy.
And then they'll turn around and be like, "Oh man, society's so great. I don't know why people are complaining." It's just like you just. The book is literally a mirror to society, and you were saying, "Man, that's bad," but then you turn around to actual society and be like, "Oh, this is fine."
AI.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the people who made Big Brother a television show kind of got the point of Big Brother.
I will say, speaking of AI, I do support this new law they propose in lieu of the Taylor Swift drama.
Yeah, although I will say,
might have to elaborate on that for people who aren't aware of that.
Although
Taylor Swift got some AI deepfake porn made of her non-consensually, like many other women have, but they don't care about normal people.
I know, right? It's like, oh, a rich celebrity did it. Oh my god, we got to do something about it now. It's like,
whatever.
okay.
We're going to ignore the 14-year-old girl who killed herself after a couple boys did it. We're instead going to focus on the fact that it did happen to someone famous, which is partially bad for her. That's not good for anyone, but it is good societal-wise because what that means is now lawmakers are proposing to make it illegal to make deep fake AI porn of someone without their consent, which is great. This is the regulation that I want. This is good.
Yeah, but like it's one of those things where I just hate
regulations.
I hate how the way the government works is either a rich or a famous person, something bad happens to them that's been happening to everyone else who aren't rich and famous or who aren't one of those. And then it's like, oh my god, we gotta do something now because a rich and famous person. It's like, yeah, thanks guys. You did your job well before, but
I hate that is what it took to do it, but I'm exceedingly joyous that this is actually happening, or at least in talks of happening.
Yeah,
like there's still more steps to go, but if we can get more regulation like this, AI is good to go.
It's kind of like curing a disease that has existed for years. It takes some time, and people are going to get caught in the crossfires. That's my segue back into the video.
Some people get caught in the crossfire.
Mr. Spankovsky.
2018? No, 19.
Me guessing the year. What is it? 2022? 2023? 2024?
Ghosty did fact check the drinking law, by the way, in Michigan.
Oh, okay, yeah. You are not supposed to be intoxicating on licensed premises at a place's work. Okay, so Taylor's just wrong in this case. Don't bother looking up the other thing that he say does in his office. Like you don't.
You're not supposed to do that either.
We'll just assume that you're not supposed to do that. I don't need to know.
I don't think.
By the way, I also got this. I also, speaking of Ghost, I think this was actually sent by Prism. Yeah, sent by Prism to me. But
listen, okay.
I love his chin, just like moved to the left to such an extreme degree.
listen. No, I'm the guy on the bottom. You know why? Because I'm so hot, and I'm so much hotter than the guy on the top. Okay. God.
That is not remotely rated to the point of making.
Yeah, I was say I don't know that that's the central idea here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Definitely the point.
I
That's
guess
what the mask is. That's the point of the mask.
Oh yeah, I forgot that we had a whole segment in the Nightmare Type episodes.
Yeah.
Ranked all of the men in Starkid.
Well, yeah, duh. Listen, it's me, okay?
It is you. Yeah. Okay.
You know, I mean, if like Robo Man wants to take off his shirt right now, I wouldn't complain.
That's a different person to the one we just saw earlier. But okay.
No, he's one of the other men I kind of have a crush on.
Okay. I mean, I can understand Jeff Blim in the first place, but whatever. We're not going back to this. We had a whole segment about then a different video.
What do you mean?
Is Aiden okay? No, he is not.
Man, I need a boyfriend.
I bet you wouldn't complain. Message you on Instagram.
Listen, don't be too forward. You're scared. I get scared. I get scared by people. I'm not even forward. I'm very shy.
Hey, Aiden, you're sexy. You wanna meet up? Oh my God! Ah! 5 hours later, guys, I just can't get a guy. I don't know what's happening.
Listen, okay, it never went that far. It just intrusive questions. I don't feel like, and I don't feel like. Okay. Listen, no.
What are all your political viewings? What religion do you belong to?
To be fair, I don't mind answering those.
Oh, okay.
Depends. Or depends on who I'm talking to. If I'm talking to like a distant relative, I'm not answering either of those because I don't trust my distant relatives. I'm gonna be honest.
You don't trust your close relatives.
Yeah, I don't trust them either. I don't trust okay, listen, I'm
gonna be honest. Any relative, you are at a. Well, I say that. I think most people should be at a point in which case, if they have to worry about their relatives being bad about that sort of stuff, maybe just block them.
Well, okay, I don't see them often. It's just I'm just saying if they
you don't have to see them at all.
I'm not answering.
Well, I mean, in family reunions, you don't always know the entire guest list of who's going.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, I can say. By the way, it's been fixed.
Hey, thanks, guys. You really clarified it.
I mean, isn't it obvious?
Apparently, as well. Apparently not Aiden. Contrary to popular belief, this is not Aiden.
Well, yeah, I don't have facial hair. The facial hair is gross.
Sure, that was.
I think facial hair.
Okay. Well, okay.
Okay,
I'm correcting that. Facial hair isn't gross. Facial is gross on me, not on people I am attracted to, but on me. I find it.
To be fair, To be fair, I'm actually having a hard time imagining you with facial hair right now in my head.
I know, right?
Yeah, facial hair is a texture nightmare, and I don't think I'd ever want to kiss someone with it. However,
I don't know.
It looks very attractive, so maybe I'm a little bit conflicted. Actually,
it gives this masculine vibe that
I guess don't like it who tried it. I don't
know. It's like oof.
I love that's so true, Spank. So this is what we got at a time, bastard. We could have been talking about the crazy lore implication this has. Instead, we got these memes. This encapsulates what this stream is.
Listen, yes.
And people say reaction content adds no value.
Exactly.
Mistaken, I'm afraid. The year is 2104. 85 years from the time you call home.
Wait, the world hasn't ended by this point? Dang.
Okay, hold on. I'm doing that math. Wait, 2104 minus 80. 2024.
80 minus 85 years.
Oh,
so
sorry.
2019, which is the same year that Ted said he was from. Coincidentally, he's now 100 years in the future from when his from the bride in question, the one that from was it Jenny? I think was her name. Whether that happened.
You are a homeless man, Mr. Spinkoff.
You are a homeless.
You are the property of Coven Communications Research and Power.
Wait, what? Excuse me. I thought slavery was banned. Okay. Listen, we do not own humans anymore. I thought we banned that a long time ago.
They do again, much like the LGBTQ community. The pendulum is swinging the opposite direction in 2104. Apparently,
it's going to pro-slavery. I don't know. Actually, to be fair, we're kind of already heading in that direction. I'm gonna be honest. So some of the comments some lawmakers have been making,
I
look it up. Ghosty, don't look. I tell you not to look it up.
Okay, hold on.
There are no work fornication laws for the workplace that I can actually find. Okay, maybe not specifically workplace, but that counts as an indecent exposure.
Yeah, I was about to say this probably counts as public indecency, but what that means is there's loopholes.
No,
Which which is the worst thing.
The question is it public if the door is closed, as Ted specified earlier?
Yeah.
Again, not that I want to know. Please stop Googling things.
I just realized a minute. If you did that then in an office room, can you then sue your employer because they have cameras in there most likely?
What? No, because you're not supposed to be doing it!
No, but if it's not written down, could you sue them for recording non-consensually?
Okay, that implies that you did not consent either in the work contract, nor were informed about the cameras in the first place, neither of which we know for sure in this circumstance.
Kilgore reaches across the table, clamps his metal hand around Ted's throat, and lifts him into...
Okay,
this is the second time this has happened to Ted in this video so far. Both times it's done by a character played by Jeff.
Maybe
it might be the same person.
Well, we do know. I like how his head looks like it gets bigger whenever you remove the neck.
We do know that Mr. Davis was into this, specifically by his wife, because he had a whole song about it.
100 years is a long time to wait for you.
100 years, again, going back to 2004, which are the same year that the whole Jenny thing happened.
Ted's finally starting to get the feeling that maybe he might be in trouble.
Oh, that thing! He's being choked to death! What do you mean? Oh, I'm there, I mean, I'm in trouble. Of course you're in trouble!
Look, the man's hungover. He's taking a bit longer to,
Well, no, it's because maybe he's into it, and he didn't realize this was serious until now.
It's like, oh, you're actually trying to kill me, never mind.
Well, yeah.
Suddenly, this isn't as attractive now that my life is actually on the line.
I mean, to be fair, that is basically anyone who's into that kind of stuff. It's like, oh yeah, all of a sudden this isn't as attractive now that it's actually now that I'm actually in danger.
Yeah, all the story is established
boundaries.
It makes exactly. I'm just waiting for Ted to like choke out the words. I have a safe word.
No, he just says a random word. Lavender.
Watermelon.
There we go. See? Exactly. There we are.
For you. Perhaps there's still time to prevent it. I don't know what you're talking about, man. You know what you are, bastard. You are the key.
Kilgore drops Ted, and the
key of
cyborg
what?
stalks
Your
around
mom?
the room with a clank.
Your mom's chastity cage, but I'm
clank.
she. No.
Where did that come from?
I don't know.
What's got your mind on chastity cages, bud?
We were talking about joking and stuff, and then it's just like, man, my brain went there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of in the ballpark.
Yeah, I guess it's a kink. I figured you would have gone to other BDSM though, if that was the train of thought. But
I know a lot about it. Okay, I'm very smart.
Oh yeah.
To unlock the power of Tanoi Coraxes, the bastard of time and space, the weaver of impossibilities, a lord in
I like how
black.
Sorry.
To control the power of Tinky is to control time and space itself.
Yeah, you know, like whether the Tanoi Coraxes or whatever he just said now, abbreviated to Tinky. So not Blinky or Cousin Stinky.
I wonder if he is related to Blinky then, actually.
Thank you, Tanoi Coraxes. Yeah.
Maybe they're all a bunch of deities that have their own like personalities, and like one of them's more sadistic than the others.
Yeah, I think that's pretty clear.
Or maybe they're all sadistic in their own ways.
Yeah, I mean they all seem pretty evil. I don't know if we've met a single good one yet, but I definitely think it's polytheistic. Yes.
Mm-hmm. I have mounted proof Aiden needs duct tape slapped over his microphone. That's gonna be the next compilation. It's just a compilation of every time the chat thought, "Oh God, please stop talking, Aiden."
Thanks to thought the same thing I did. I was so about to say Tinky Winky before we got into the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, the Teletubbies are the god of this universe.
Experiment of failure, but somehow.
I like what I was going to say before, talking about like Lords in Black, was actually the fact that he seems to be like advancing slowly but surely, but he's been taking a bunch of steps. And if Ted was like at arm's reach before, he's definitely like either trampling him right now or Ted is backing
No,
away.
he's like directly in his face. He's like basically at the distance where he could easily kiss him if he wanted to. It's just like, and he's just talking in his face like, oh, okay, cool, this is nice and all, but like, please back off a few inches because like this is way too in my face.
You have been touched by Tinky.
Whoa there, cowboy. Whoa, did I consent to Tinky doing that? No.
You know, one of the things that I admire most in any actor is the ability to deliver exceptionally stupid lines with a complete straight face. And Jeff's way to say, "You have been touched by Tinky," is definitely admirable.
Tinky, Blinky, Linky, Sinky.
And Blinky.
You have been aborted from the flow of time.
You've been aborted. Why? From the
Become a time bastard, and somewhere in your genetic
over the rainbow
is the secret to your power.
Kilgore holds up his robotic hand.
Okay, Abstergo. Alright, I need you to calm down there, buds. The secret to everything is within your genetic power. Your genetic code holds the truth. Let's strap you into an animus.
To be honest, what they should do, the power's clear in his voice, because he said 85 years and then fell asleep. So, if anything, just, you know, just examine his vocal cords, put them into a pink flute, and then just program it to say the time.
Splits apart to reveal a hellish assortment of surgical scalpels, razor-sharp blades, and whirling
God.
I will unravel that secret as I dismantle your DNA.
I don't think they'll understand my DNA. I think they'll just kill me, but okay.
Yeah. If it's strand by strand, then it absolutely will.
Can't you just take like blood or something like a normal person? Like, dang.
That is actually a very good point. That
or like stem cells or anything. Why you have to jump to? Oh yeah, I'm gonna rip your DNA apart.
To be fair, he did just choke him out for show. Maybe he's just showing those off for show. He's just gonna stick a needle in there and just like draw some blood, be done with it.
To his intense satisfaction, he's the executioner sometimes, so I guess that tracks.
Also, isn't he concerned that through doing, if he kills him to go through his DNA, that the secret may be hidden or something? Because who knows if he has to be alive to get that secret out of him? You know, he hasn't did any real testing to know.
This is essentially the same issue that like The Last of Us had. Not to go into spoiler detail, but those who know.
Now you shall remember me, bastard.
I don't think anyone is forgetting you anytime soon.
No! Ted grabs a chair and hurls it at Executive.
The head bobs.
Yeah.
His leg knocks loose a tube from Kilgore's rebreather. Oxygen spews from the wriggling piping as the cyborg falls.
That's so easy to kill him. What?
From the door, 3 guards rush inside.
Well, I mean, I guess it's Darth Vader logic.
Ted grabs the container of brown liquid. He splashes the first guard.
Which, now that I say that out loud, imagine if like the first time that Obi-Wan and Darth Vader face off, he was just like, "Oh yes, but you're forgetting one thing, Lord Vader." Vroom. Just one full circle. Not to ruin Star Wars for everyone.
I mean, maybe don't walk around with such a blatant weakness. Like,
well, he couldn't help it. He couldn't really help it.
Yeah,
but like
he couldn't walk around at all without that.
But if you're gonna get in combat scenarios, you should really find a way to cover up all your weaknesses. Because, like, listen,
I will say it was made on purpose that way. Canonically, canonically speaking, it was made to be defected in order for him to feel pain and get more in touch with his rage.
Yeah, that sounds like Palpatine for you.
Face with it, smashes the pitcher over another's head and kicks the last one in the balls. He bolts out the door.
Do they
The
even
guard
have
races
balls?
to
Are they
Killgore,
robots?
reconnects the loose
I
tooth.
don't know what they are now.
This one seems definitely more cyborg, because why would an android need oxygen?
Yeah.
He's a wily one. Sound the alarm. Stop
You were
that
about to
bastard.
rip me from beast to beast. Leave me alone.
The alarm blares. Ted races through the halls of CCRP, running for his life.
Shit.
At every workstation, the CCRP employees open their desks and reach for their laser pistols, plasma rifles, and disintegrators. Ted reaches the end of a hall.
Question about the
rounds the corner,
disintegrators.
comes face to face with
Isn't that counterintuitive to your point? Like, oh, he's escaping. We need him alive to study his DNA, or we need to at least capture him so we can study his DNA. I know. Let's hit him with a disintegrator.
That
you
is
know, when
true.
he's
To be
a
fair to
pile
the-
of ash, I'm sure we could study his DNA.
To be fair to the employees, they don't know all the details because they only just found out that it's Ted Spagovsky this whole time, and Executive Killjoy decided to immediately confront him about it. So they don't know the gravity of the situation. There's no
Yeah, I
way
will
to do
say
that.
their knowledge is one sentence: stop that bastard.
Yeah.
50 CCRP employees armed to the teeth.
Oh god.
Reminds me of that one Spider-Verse scene in Into
Oh,
the
God.
Spider-Verse with all the scientists.
There
you
he
know,
is.
where like Peter and Miles are like walking out.
Actually, yeah, I do remember that.
They open fire. Ted
or
dives
like
behind
half of the second movie.
Oh yeah, with the
Also.
Spider Society.
the nearest cubicle and rolls under a desk. All around, laser blasts fly through the air. Ted stays low, crawling from one desk to the next. During the
No one re-aims their lasers to aim lower, considering that's where he is the whole time.
Everyone has like stormtrooper aim.
Yeah, there you go.
They could always, I mean, if they knew the context, they could always aim low to like lead him in a certain area.
I mean, realistically, I would use like a laser blaster to probably shoot his legs to like stop him from being able to run and think you could do it. That's what I would do personally.
Alternatively, if you want to get
legs.
If you want to get two jobs done, both stop him and get the blood, just pick up an old-fashioned Glock. Just shoot him.
I mean, honestly, yeah, I think an actual
Maybe they don't
gun
know what-
would be.
maybe they don't know what-
would be-
Maybe they don't know what those are. Maybe they've just
That's
been,
fair.
discontinued because they've there's no point.
workers
They'd be
bootstrap
really
Ted.
useful right about
They
now,
scatter
though.
in every direction. Ted leaps from his hiding spot and slams
I thought Robert Manny is just like, hey, in the corner. Don't think we can't see you.
directly into the guard. He kicked in the balls. The guard grins and removes a device from his pocket. It's a flat rectangle with a big red button on top.
Oh my
He
god, it's
points it
going to
at
shock
Ted.
him.
Prepare to be disintegrated, asshole!
What?
But before he can press the button, a metal hand grabs him by the back of the neck and hurls him across the room.
No, you fool. His genes must remain intact.
There you
The
go.
device goes flying from the guard's hand. Kilgore rounds on Ted. He stomps toward him. As he
He's
does,
gonna
his
grab
robotic arm
disintegrator.
transforms into a mass of spinning blades. Ted
Oh.
falls backwards, screaming in terror. Kilgore is 10 feet away and closing, blade arm extended, ready to rip Ted to shreds. There's no hope, unless Ted's fingertips brush against the device the guard dropped. He points it at Kilgore and slams the big red button. A glowing dot appears on Kilgore's chest. It looks like a cigarette burn. It smokes slightly. That's all? Just when Ted is thinking he picked the shittiest weapon ever invented, Kilgore stops dead in his tracks and howls in pain. The cyborg convulses uncontrollably.
Cyborg, there you
Ted
go.
watches his metal feet turn to ash. The disintegration is not instantaneous, but once it's
Oh.
started, it cannot be stopped. Process begins at the bottom and works its way up the body.
Question, how
Kilgore
come
can only-
disintegration isn't instantaneous, though? I mean, okay, from like a realistic standpoint, if you really want to kill someone, why don't you just make it instant to get rid of them fast? Because like making it slow means they have a chance to attack you. Like,
That
if
might
they
require
start-
a different model at some point. I think they made it intentionally so. I think the technology hasn't caught up with them to the point where they can make it faster yet.
Maybe, but like, dang that. I mean, the only reason I could see making it slow on purpose would be if you want the person to suffer in some way, but I don't know. It seems kind of like a risk that you don't want to take.
Watch, screaming as his legs crumble apart, then his stomach, then his chest. The last
and his camera has been muted, or he's just not making sounds.
thing he sees before his head collapses in on itself is the face of that bastard. All that's left of Killed
Why did he
is a
whisper like
foot-high
that bastard?
pile of dust. Ted wipes sweat from his brow. He laughs, kisses the disintegrator, and shoves it into his shirt pocket.
Wait, be careful, like you push the button, you're...
We had the same thought.
Then the elevator dings.
Just like, well, you really shouldn't be messing with me, Ted Spankowski. Oh no.
Before it can open, Ted races to his office, slamming the door behind him. From inside, he hears two employees step off the elevator.
Hey, where'd he go?
Ted listens in terror as their footsteps get closer and closer. The two employees are right outside his office.
Let's check in here.
The door latch starts to turn until... No way! I'm not going in there. That place stinks like 80-year-old jism. Let's check the...
This is a fair point. You know that they could have access to Ted's DNA from other means.
I mean, it's all crusty. You could eat it. You know what?
That's not what they would do in this situation. They need to examine it. They gain nothing by eating anything.
Yeah.
Ted hears
well,
the
they
two
did other
wander off.
things, but you know, I get it.
Then lets out a huge sigh of relief. But he's not out of the woods yet. He paces his office frantically, trying to piece it all together.
Okay, there's a temporal rift in my office. So my office is a time machine. Okay, think. What did I do last
Go back
time?
in.
This is why we need the compilation.
In this chair, I was printing. It took forever. 85 years.
You're not helping.
Is that it?
You're not helping.
Is that all I have to do? Focus
You probably should say negative 85 years this time, but yeah, close enough.
on a time? No, go there?
Ted jumps into his chair and closes his eyes.
Okay.
There's no place like home.
2019.
There's no place like home.
2019. Back to my life. Back to my wonderful, lonely, miserable life.
Ah, he's getting an idea now.
Wait. I've been aborted from the flow of time.
It all clicks into place. If Ted is dealing with some tricky-dicky time travel stuff, then he's also looking at the possibility of different timelines. And that means his vision at the wedding wasn't a dream.
I was with Jenny last night. Only in a timeline where I didn't screw everything up. A timeline
There you go. That's the diversion point.
where we got married. Oh my God! I can go back to 2004. I can fix it. I can fix things with Jenny, and then it'll be my wedding.
Ted leans back.
Yes, mess with the time stream. I'm sure nothing could go wrong with messing with time travel.
I guess that also means that Ted beat Paul to the wedding registration. So he got the reservation beforehand.
Or maybe him being happy it maybe caused him and Paul,
The universe made it so that way it has to be Ted or Paul. There's no in between.
Yeah. I can imagine that Ted and Paul plan the weddings at the same time, and Ted does a whole fake crying routine or something, and then Paul feels sorry for him and says, you can have the date. Yeah, I'll talk to Emma about it. Then he goes back and talks to Emma. You did what?
Okay, gotta get this right. October 17th, 2004. October 17th, 2004.
I recommend going back to October 16th so you get yourself a bit of extra time so you can be in the place you want to be in preparation for that, because you're going to be in this exact same spot right now before you actually even work there.
October 17th.
Wait, but what if he time traveled to a point where the building and the office weren't built? So would that mean he just falls from the sky?
Well, for the sake of argument, let's say that CCRP did in fact exist, but the office belonged to somebody else in 2004.
I would hope so.
I hate that the trigger point to time traveling is going to sleep, because every time he does this, I yawn back.
I watched an entire Netflix series where the way to travel back and forth in time was going back to a photo blog from 2006.
Lets his exhaustion wash over him, and in no time at all, he's fast asleep.
Excuse me.
At the sound of a voice, Ted's eyes flutter open.
Huh?
A mild-mannered man in a dress shirt and a tie stands at the door.
What are you doing
Mild-mannered Clark Kent. There you go. I thought.
I was
October
just having
17th.
a bit of fun. If you should, because that's legal, apparently.
Yeah, the door was closed. Ha.
2004.
Ted looks around at his office, only it's not his office anymore. Framed newspaper clippings hang on the wall. Ted pushes past the man. The building is bustling with people frantically typing, yelling back and forth about getting the scoop. Ted turns to see huge letters hanging on the back wall.
Oh, yeah, getting the scoop. That's how you know you're in 2004 and not 1935.
I will say, I would hate the time travel though. Like, even if I time travel to a point where I was alive, I would hate the fact that I'm in the past, because I'm like, I know so much. I know what happens, and I don't want to change it, even though some of it would be nice to change, but also I don't know what will happen if I do change it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would definitely be paranoid about changing everything. I would do my best to lay low as much as possible.
If I step on a bug, will I alter the whole timeline? Will I cause any ripple effects? If I talk to someone, will I cause them to not meet the person they eventually marry and have a kid with? Therefore, erase someone from existence? Like, what happens? If I get a job, will I be taking up someone else's job? Therefore, that person doesn't get a job, which will ultimately affect the whole world timeline, because maybe that person did something important in that job.
Yeah, I will say there is also...
I would overthink everything. I'm like, oh god, whatever I do, I'm just like, I don't want to mess with the timeline.
There is also the
if I get into a taxi, does that mean it doesn't pick up another person and therefore they miss like their flight to a major business deal?
I will say that there is also the factor of whenever he went to the other timelines, like the one where he was with the girl from 2004, right? Is it because it's a naturally spawning timeline, or is it because something caused a diversion point? Because if it's the latter, what caused it?
This is the cause. What just happened in this scene right now is what caused the other timelines to exist.
Is that he remembers now? CCRP wasn't even here in 2004. The building was home to the old newspaper, which means he's done.
So the building was there, but okay, fine, close enough.
It worked. It worked. I am the time bastard.
When I go to sleep, I'm gonna think I'm gonna time travel. That's the real effect of nightmare time. It actually gives you nightmares.
What a superhero name.
Elsewhere, in a tiny studio apartment, a shy, sensitive college boy named Teddy pours himself another drink. He looks in the mirror, trying to build up the nerve to finally do it.
Man, I should go over there.
Whoa, you pulled out like an actual young person voice there.
Yeah, fun fact, for the chat who know who this is, it sounds a bit more like Peter now, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Don't be a baby, Spankoffs.
You hope to see Tinky in your dream? I don't know.
It's for the immersion.
I don't want to meet Tinky. I think Tinky will like devour my soul or whatever. Or
it's in the
take
same
me to a
way...
place that will shred my DNA. Either way, I don't want to have that happen.
It's the same way you secretly hope bad things happen in horror games.
You're not a teddy bear. You're a lion. Okay.
Oh man, yeah, what a real lion sounds like. You're a lion, guys.
Am I too drunk? We're not drunk.
Let me hear your war cry, Travis.
Drunk enough. What do you think, pal?
Teddy watches as another image of himself steps into view.
Tonight was with Wiggly wouldn't recommend. Hello, friendly Wend. It's me. What is your name? Ooh, Latias Blue.
Also,
That's one of my favorite names.
Also, has he considered impersonating him from the past would become questionable because he's like 15 years older than he was at this point in the timeline, and like being like especially being that young and going 15 years in the future, you're probably gonna notice a visual and like personality difference.
Yeah, that is entirely fair if he does decide to go in that direction.
Like if he actually goes up to her and be like, "Hey, baby, what's up?" It's like,
Yeah, he could potentially pass off as like an older relative of his, or just someone who like vaguely resembles him. It depends.
There's his dad. Hi, I'm his dad.
There's also the option in Red Dwarf, which, to go back to that series again, where at one point the main character actually does find a future version of himself that is married to the girl that he had a crush on, because he finds another way to travel back in time 5 years up is in the future, and then that's how it ends up. And then of course the show runs for like 3 decades and they never actually do that, but whatever.
I mean, Futurama did something similar. Basically, Fry went to the past because there was this guy who appeared who kind of like swept the girl he liked, Leela, off her feet that he's been pining after the whole series up to that point. And so he goes back in the past just to kind of live. But it turns out, we find out that guy she was pining after was actually Fry, but the Fry that went back in time got his hair shaved off, and then he went to the future to be with her. So it's like a weird time loop thing, like a circuit, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like he was jealous technically over himself because himself went to the past, but then came back to the future, so looking slightly different, therefore. Yeah.
I dream of that son with the face of baby on it receive eldritch powers from this photorealistic baby face. Presumably you're talking about the Teletubbies son, which was
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, the Teletubbies son is the coolest son I have ever seen. I think it's cooler than our son, honestly. Like
the Teletubbies son is what ancient civilizations imagined when they were growing crops.
Just a baby rising over their crops.
That was Apollo before he could drive the sun chariots legally.
I think I'm not gonna let you fuck this up.
What?
Blinks at his double, stupid.
What?
Whoa, I am way too drunk.
I'm most drunk to question how you have a key to this apartment that you haven't been into in several years.
Oh god, did you break in?
His younger self and holds an ether so
Wouldn't be the first time he broke down a door, but yeah, it does seem like you're right, and he is going to impersonate himself here.
locked to his mouth. The college boy's eyes go wide. Then
How'd you get chloroform, by the way?
I thought, as far as Ted's memory goes, I thought as far as Ted was concerned, he passed out naturally anyway, which would have meant that he would have no need to go back to see himself because he'd be passed out. So who would prevent it from happening?
I think
therefore would mean in this case, yeah.
I think interacting with yourself would hurt the timeline too, because
No, I understand. I understand that, yeah. But also, like again, he would not have the motivation to go back because he would just assume that it would be taken care of.
bad.
Stand aside.
Well,
little
then
boy.
he was drunk. He could have just
Let
lost
the
that memory.
Casanova of Covington.
I mean, if he was drunk enough, maybe.
Maybe, but if he lost that memory, he wouldn't know to go back and do that to himself. He wouldn't put that piece together.
Well, no, what I mean is like he might have just forgotten the detail that he was like suffocated.
He forgot the detail, but in present day, when he did that, he didn't realize he did it before, and it happened to him before.
So he wouldn't. So why would he have the idea to do so? Exactly. That's what I'm getting at.
No, but he knows that he passed out, but he thinks he passed out naturally. But in this changed But in this changed timeline, he did. In this changed timeline, he always was chloroformed or whatever to be knocked out. But he didn't know that he didn't realize he was chloroformed because he always thought he was originally drunk. So when he went back in time, he decided to chloroform himself because he's like, hey, I'll just assume I was drunk, and not realizing that he technically was chloroformed before in the original timeline.
Okay, but why would he just have the idea to go chloroform himself if he assumes that he just passed out from drunkenness?
Maybe he's impatient, I don't know.
He's probably maybe dumb and be like, oh, I'm just gonna chloroform him. I'm just gonna, Get it
Yeah,
faster.
I mean, you use up the valuable time that you would need to actually be on time for the date in the first place. Of course, the classic Ted.
Take it from here.
He hasn't had a date in a long time. He's rusty.
Hey, man! Oh, what are you doing here? How come you're like 15 years older? You kind of look like your dad now.
He didn't. Yeah.
Time to set things right. He's older, wiser, with years of experience in the art of seduction.
Wiser, huh?
Jenny is
I
as
don't know if
good
that's
as
the word
he
I'd
is.
use.
But first, he needs to prepare himself. As he does, he recites the invaluable lessons he's learned. He scrubs in the shower.
You adjust the camera to center himself in frame.
Repeating.
Lesson number 12. Wash the butt and balls.
Once he's toweled
What?
off, he
Okay.
irons his trousers.
Lesson 46. Dress to touch breasts.
What?
He's sounding like Barney Stinson from How I Met Your Mother now.
He's looking real sharp in his signature ensemble. He runs a comb through his mustache.
Lesson
Which he presumably also had when he was in college, so it wouldn't be an issue.
95.
I hope he did.
The
but he
most
was saying.
sensual part of a man is the bush brush.
I mean, I think there are other more sensual parts, but okay.
Oh yeah, we're more than familiar with what you find to be the most sensual parts.
Listen, I have several parts that I think are cool, okay? Listen.
Yes, you do.
Man, I can't believe we reached 100 messages today with Restream chat.
Oh, you can see the tally?
Yeah, I've always seen it.
Oh, all right, fair enough. It doesn't, for some reason, it doesn't show me the number tally on my end, which is weird.
Well, it's because Restream on our end if you look to the side, there's like a Restream account that pretends like it's just another comment. It's not actually showing up in actual YouTube chat, but it looks like it.
I see.
It says it's a reward. It's like a trophy emoji, and it goes, "I've received 100 messages today with Restream chat."
I see. Okay, fine. Well, people have been waiting for this video to happen, so I guess that makes sense.
Get ready, Jenny. Daddy's coming.
Later, a few blocks from Jenny's apartment, a young man named Andy strolls down the sidewalk with a sprinkle of step. He's been seeing Jenny on and off for a while now, but he's ready to take things to the next level. In one hand, he holds a bouquet of roses. In the other is a black box.
Oh, Jenny, Clivesdale is our oyster. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, I am excited.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy!
Oh my goodness. Okay, it's a sign of the fact that I've been watching too much Legend of Adventures that I just immediately thought it was Gricko talking.
And Andy hears a voice from behind him.
Hey, dickhead.
Huh?
Andy turns around just as Ted smacks him across the face with a crowbar.
Okay, as far as he could say, he could have been going to find another person. He didn't even know that he was going to show up.
Andy falls to the ground, jaw broken, left eye filling with blood. Ted crouches and rips the flower.
That's why. That explains so much. He made his own villain.
Yeah, well, I mean, I knew that was going to happen because.
Okay.
Yeah. Why else would he have such a vendetta?
These flowers for Jenny?
Oh, I don't know. I just thought that was like his mission or something.
How cute.
He tosses the bouquet into the gutter.
You're not
See, now with this context, it is somewhat. It is kind of coming off a little bit more like karma, Ted.
Well, at least it would be if he didn't have confirmation that he's already won.
Still this time, pal. What's this?
He pries the small black box from Andy's grip. He opens it. Inside is a silver locket. Ted laughs maliciously.
A necklace! How pretty!
He tosses the locket. He leans down.
That explains the locket from earlier, which hadn't been built up yet.
Right over Andy's face.
You stay away from her. Jenny and I are gonna be happy. I know. I've seen it.
Yeah, because you're not acting psycho right now at all. Like I know he tortured you, but that was an alternate. That was the future, and
it's definitely the same guy. It's just what he's doing right now is causing all that to happen.
Well, at least making it worse and actually personal instead of business.
Well, no, I mean he did. That's the reason his eye was missing in the future.
Okay, so again, you two are making mostly the same point, but in slightly different ways. So what one of you is going on the lines of, yes, this is what causes these things to happen. I think what Aiden is saying is that Ted is making this much more personal because he recognizes, Executive Killjoy, whatever his name was, from the future. I'm not sure if he recognizes him necessarily so much as he knows that he is a romantic rival based on the context clues he just saw right now. And therefore, from Killjoy's perspective, he's now just said the line, I remember this face. And of course, Killjoy does, and then goes and do everything else. Not sure if Ted was conscious of that. It could have been anyone that he would have done this to. And it just so happened to be the one person who would remember that for the rest of his life and then go on to make a huge vendetta out of it and eventually lose anyway.
His face. My face. I am the time bastard.
What?
And there we go, because he said that to him now, so that's why he remembers it, yeah.
He
Oh,
stands
Kilgore,
and
thank
leaves
you.
the boy there,
Yeah.
bleeding on the pavement. Andy watches Ted go, not knowing his name, but swearing vengeance in his mind and wheezing.
Bastard.
A few streets over, Jenny is penning the hardest letter she'll ever have to write.
Teddy, Andy's asked me to move in with him. I've said yes. Not because I want to go to Clivesdale. Fuck Clivesdale. It's just seeing you every day,
every time.
knowing you don't love me back. It's
Darn.
too painful. I'll probably never see you again, but I want you to know that you were the best friend I ever had.
It's about her.
So the fix to all of this is simply go even further into the past, create a timeline in which that past you now knows that the only reason this ever goes downhill is because he didn't do it quick enough.
Well, no, because he knows he didn't do it quick enough because he read this letter. Ted received this letter originally from Jenny.
Yeah,
Why didn't you go back further then?
Well, that's why I suggested before. I suggested before we should have given himself like an extra day just to, really have enough prep time. But I guess he decided to, to wing it, I suppose.
She wipes tears from her eyes.
I guess it makes it more dramatic when he bursts in being like, Jenny, don't leave me. I love you.
Pretty much, yeah.
She throws on her coat and walks to the nearest mailbox. She turns the envelope.
We just have the airport scene where he's running through the airport, like, Jenny, I'm coming! She's about to board the plane, but then she hears him. She turns dramatically. You're here! She runs up to him.
It also starts raining appropriately. Yeah, I want to see that. I see like she's like in slow motion lifting up to go deliver it inside the mailbox, and then like cut back to Ted going. He's like slaps it down onto the floor.
She wishes she didn't need to go. She wishes Teddy were here with her right now, but he's not. She opens the latch on the mailbox and drops the letter inside. As she does,
Jenny! Jenny!
Teddy?
Ted comes running down the street. When he reaches her, he leans on the mailbox, catching his breath.
Hey, babe.
Hey, babe.
Babe? Is that a mustache?
It's called...
Oh, he didn't have a
Bush
mustache in the original
It's the most sensual.
timeline.
That answers that question I had earlier then.
Oh no, that's concerning.
You'll find out
why. You'll find out why. You're gonna tell her about your time travel adventure? Okay.
I mean, maybe.
I guess. But
You
I
guys
don't know.
missed a key detail there. He was talking about his quote-unquote bush brush. And
Oh, yeah, no,
said,
yeah,
instead
about
it's
that,
the
yeah.
most sensual part and that she's about to find out why.
Maybe I should just tell you how I feel.
He puts a finger to her lips.
You don't have to say anything. You can tell me all about it. With your body.
No! Nope.
Apologies to all headphone users.
No!
even when given the chance to fix things, he's still sitting up. Face. Look at that reaction. That's everything you need to know. Secondhand embarrassment.
Man, her face relates
for him or
to
for her. Either one works.
her face relates to so much right now.
That's what I said before. Yeah.
Ted, you're acting different.
You bet your ass, which I love, by the way.
Oh my
I always
God.
wanted to say that.
Okay, why are you talking like such a horny bastard?
Because that's what I am. That's what I became for you. You chose so I became
No! Stop!
No! And the twist is going to be she's like, wow, Ted, no one's ever talked to me like that before. She's like actually into it.
Oh, you never talked? I don't know what's talked like that before. I hate it. Anyways, I cry.
Why do pretty girls always go for bad boys?
That's what you want, right?
Why do good girls love bad guys? I've been wondering this for a very long time.
No, I don't know what's happening right now, but you're not acting like the guy I'm in love with.
She backs away, a blush forming on her face. She was so rattled she actually let it slip. The L word.
Sorry. We're both acting weird right now. I gotta go.
No! I lost you once. I'm never gonna let you go again.
He grabs her wrist.
Please.
Oh, he is doing the romantic cliche.
She pulls free and pushes it. Her hand bumps something in his shirt pocket. There's a small click.
Oh.
Flash. And Jenny's eyes go wide.
Ooh.
He lets out a small whimper.
Oh, wait. So, it happened to her, not to him.
Oh.
Oh, so I guess it must fire in a certain direction rather than.
Oopsie-daisy.
Well, I did say she was gonna die when in the early scenes.
Ted looks down to see the glowing dot on Jenny's chest, like a cigarette burn.
Presume we've seen this
It's
before.
smoking.
Yeah.
There's a hole in his shirt pocket from where the beam burned through. He forgot it was there.
Why did you put it in your pocket? It's a death laser! That was just dumb!
Jenny must have hit it, and it hit her.
No, this damn thing!
He takes the device from his pocket.
Oh,
and
now
smashes
you
it
get
on
rid
her
of
head.
it! You kind of got rid of it.
Jenny looks
then
at
you-
him.
He smashed it on the ground, and the ground starts to disintegrate as well.
Oh, what if him dropping that is the reason they have it in the future?
That's if they're able to put it back together again.
Well, if it gets exploded.
Well, I mean, they have to. They need to have the knowledge in order to do so. Maybe Andy picks it up and is like, "Ooh, what is this thing?" But then again, Andy wanted him alive, so wouldn't make sense for him to do that. Never mind.
In her eyes.
Teddy.
The only girl Ted's ever loved falls into his arms as she starts to disintegrate.
Teddy. It hurts.
The process begins at
Mr. Spankowski, I don't feel so good.
her feet. They turn to dust. Then her legs and her waist.
Oh, so it always starts with the feet. Okay, so it doesn't matter where you aim; it always ends up going down to the. Okay, that's interesting.
Her
Tears
butt
stream
also
from
got
her eyes.
erased, and that's the saddest part because he didn't have that butt anymore. That he loves so much.
If Ted was actually the narrator of this, then yeah, maybe that would be how it goes.
I'm scared. Teddy.
How are you still talking? Aren't you like gone already?
Yeah.
Like, dang, girl, you still have the ability to talk. That's impressive.
Ted, my effing legs.
No.
Just cry out to
He's
the
now
time
just
god.
ahead, staring into his eyes. Her
Just
last
her floating his disembodied head.
Teddy.
Dang.
Then her head crumbles too.
How are you still talking? You
love
don't
it.
have your vocal cords anymore.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
maybe I thought it was intact.
Is nothing more than a
Maybe.
pile of ash on the pavement.
Jenny.
Well, you killed your girlfriend in public, so
Jenny!
good on you, dude.
It's okay. I can fix this. I
What?
have a time machine.
Oh, he's
This
gonna
is fine.
constantly time travel back.
I mean, this has been known to happen with time travelers that constantly make mistakes.
I meant to do that. I'm the time bag.
You meant to kill her? What do you mean you meant to do that? You didn't mean to kill her?
Can fix anything.
I think I said like
No.
I meant to, as in like I am meant to use the time. I don't know.
30 minutes later, Ted busts through the back door of the Hatchetfield
The question is, would it even work if the if the office isn't part of CCRP anymore?
Gazette building. He rushes up to his office. Well, what one day will be his office. He sits behind the desk and closes his eyes.
The guy working there's like, hey, what are you doing? Throws him out of the room.
Okay, take two. I just gotta go back 4 hours. I'll meet myself here, kick my own ass, and stop myself from fucking it up with Jenny. Yeah.
Or you could
Okay,
just time
this is-
travel and take the thing out of your pocket and get rid of it. So
He could also, yeah, he could also just tell his future self what's going to happen, and then say that leave the disintegrator, here or something, or dispose of it, anything like that. Yeah, he doesn't have to, beat himself up.
I'm
If-
good at this.
It
4
has to
hours.
go wrong, otherwise it might have just landed into plot hole territory.
not really.
Yeah, well, what BB's saying is because of like how the timelines seem to work so far, because everything up until this point seems like a closed loop, with the exception of the vision of Jenny that he got from the wedding, which does
So-
imply diverted timelines.
So
Well,
if he
that-
goes
but
back
that
and
also
interacts
could
with
be a cool
himself to
trick.
fix this, then that would mean he should have seen him past self during that first attempt.
No, but here's the thing that could just be a cool trick, a cruel trick from that time god. If you think about it, show
Either
up.
that or it's not going to work now.
show
Oh,
up,
what if he
quote-unquote,
is the time god?
I highly doubt it.
Yeah, but it's simple. If you show a timeline where allegedly it worked, but like it was super complex to get to that point, you don't give any guidance. And then when they get the ability to time travel, they try time traveling, but they just screw up and ultimately causes pain and suffering. Therefore, the time god gets what they want, pain and suffering even more, because you gave him hope initially to like be with his girl again, even though it just led to her death and like the whole tragic events.
Hours ago.
Ted forces his heartbeat to slow, and with some effort,
His heart stopped. Ugh. He died.
Dang it!
Excuse
No,
me?
I went to go
That's
see if Tanoi Caraxis was an anagram, but no, it has an R.
Okay, what was the anagram that you were expecting to happen then? Because it's
I was expecting Ted Spanksofsky or whatever, but because there's an R, that doesn't work.
well, his full name's Theodore.
awoken by a familiar voice. Again, the mild-mannered man stands at the door.
What are you doing in my office? Again.
Wait. Again?
Did he take more than 4 hours to do so?
Outside,
No, I presume it just didn't work.
the
No,
morning
Theodore
sun
doesn't work.
shines
There's
on
not an
the
H in that.
On October 18th, 2004, the man turns to his colleague.
Hey, that guy's back in my office. Can we get security up here?
No. No. I did everything right. I sat at the desk. I concentrated on the time. Why didn't it work? It should be 4 hours ago. My
It's a
office is
cruel
supposed to
trick
be-
from the time god. There's no way to undo it.
Well, no, unless
either
they had to-
CCRP doesn't exist yet, therefore the time experiment has not corrupted the room, therefore there is no time corruption, and he can't travel back.
Not yet, teddy bear.
There you go. See?
The mild-mannered man is gone, the goat costume thing, the lord in black named Tinky, now stands in the doorway.
Get you and your Teletubby butt.
Evil furry time god. There you go. That's what Toy Caraxis translates to.
What do you mean, not yet?
Oh, you use that pea-sized brain, Ted. The experiment happens in 2019, Einstein. That's not for another 15 years!
He's just gonna have to age. He's gonna wait 15 years to do it again.
Yes, that was what I was saying before.
My office isn't a time machine yet!
It was a one-way ticket, you dumb fuck!
Also, hi, Risotto Pose.
No! I can't be stuck here! In 2004? I hated 2004! Oh god, I can't be stuck here!
You're not stuck here, Teddy Bear. You're stuck in here.
Pinky holds up the yellow cube from before.
Oh.
The one Ted had unwrapped at the wedding. The bastard's box.
It's Tinky's little toy box. Can't you hear yourself in there? Screaming and screaming and screaming.
Actually, no. Wait, let me just. Oh, now I can. I didn't put it onto my ears before. You see,
It's like a seashell.
Yeah.
You know what?
I know this is stretching, but I will say,
was a seashell. You know what? It should have been an actual seashell. That would have been interesting.
I know this is a stretch, but if he does somehow become this god later, that could be considered foreshadowing what he just said.
Yeah.
Himself. Ted can hear the screams of all those who had been born and lived and died, and
The
yet
bastard's
had
box
also never
changing
existed
to
at all.
Tinky's little toy box.
The cries of the infinite and the impossible spill forth from the bastard's box as it slowly creaks open. Ted gazes inside, and his mind is shattered. All he can do is scream. No one else at the Hatchetfield Gazette sees Tinky. All they know is that a strange man who broke into the building 2 days in a row started having some kind of a fit. A security guard escorts Ted from the building.
And stay out!
Ted stands outside, shivering.
Daddy.
After his peek into the box, his
His
mind
beanie.
will never be the same.
Oh.
He is broken, shattered. He speaks with a thick, awkward voice.
Don't leave me out here. It's cold out here. It's so...
And so that's why they call him a homeless man before. You know, people in the comments kept on talking about the guys being the homeless man and Ted, and I was like, well, wait until I get to that, please.
cold.
Because there's no way they could have explained this before getting to this point.
He looks to a pile of trash. There's a few pieces of clothing sitting on top.
Behold.
Cold. Oh, a hat. Oh, that's better.
He pulls on the black beanie and the beige coat.
I have so many more questions now.
Yeah, my question is then how does he know about what? Because now we know he has to figure out the truth about her at some point then in order for him to bust in.
By her, you're referring to the fake Emma Perkins at this point. Yeah. In which case, he's got 15 years to work that out. So, plenty of time.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Wait, how long was this fake Emma Perkins existing, though?
Well, it's for some time, because she had to assimilate as the real Emma Perkins when she returned to Hatchetfield after Jane dies, and after the trip was over.
15 years pass.
My question would be, how does the homeless man get there in all the other realities that Ted does not time travel for? Unless he does with all of them. But again, it seems like every incident in the Hatchetfield saga where something supernatural happens in one timeline and one timeline only.
I mean, okay,
so someone else in every other reality.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's probably the case of in this reality, the homeless man is Ted. Like in this one reality, the homeless man is Ted, but in every other reality, the homeless man isn't Ted. I mean, I guess it could be like compared like to Spider-Verse. Like in most universes, Gwen Stacy dies, but in one universe she becomes Spider-Gwen. You know, it's like in the one reality she becomes like.
It could be, but I feel like it'd be weird from a storytelling perspective to tie
because that
it
means
all
that
in like
there's,
this.
in this, I mean, say in every other version, there's the you know, the homeless man from originally would have been conceived and born, except for in this reality, which doesn't seem connected to what just happened right now.
Okay, but you also could think about like
unless the homeless man was actually Andy's child and being beaten up by Ted meant and you know, kicked where the sun don't shine means he no longer has children and therefore Ted takes his place.
It's Time Master 2.0.
No, but like it could hypothetically be just someone just happens to become homeless who's, you know, in
that
other
looks
realities.
the exact same.
Well, you know.
Well, yeah, it looks the exact same because this is a Team Starkid production. I said
right, but like, there's no. Sure, they could have had anyone. They knew this was happening. So if they wanted to say these are two different people, why wouldn't they have a different actor?
Because maybe they couldn't get another actor.
They could have had literally anyone else do it.
I guess, but look.
I mean, look
the dude showed up for one scene for a couple lines and was never seen again. Anyone could have done that.
Well, I mean, he shows up for a couple of scenes in each of the Starkid musicals, and also in this Nightmare Time reality in the previous installment.
Well, probably this actor realistically maybe isn't as available as other ones, so that's why he normally plays the role of Holmes. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but the way they're they're building it up like this whole homeless thing is important. You know, it's weird storytelling if that doesn't matter.
They did build it up, and yeah, like even Kilborg called Ted a homeless man in foreshadowing before this happened. Or I guess technically speaking after this happened because of how time works, but you know what I mean. In the story.
I mean, time travel in multiple dimensions can be complicated because because sometimes I feel like certain creators don't even think like. I mean, I guess you could, but I mean, like, I don't know. The universe is complicated, so maybe, you know, just time flows differently.
I mean, these creators clearly have thought about all of these different things. It's
Plus,
just,
I mean, it also
doesn't seem to line up right now.
It also could be the fact that, you know, maybe everyone has like a role, like okay, Spider-Verse comparisons. There are certain events in a spider's life that allegedly always have to happen.
In a spider's life.
Yes, a spider person's
just
life.
any spider.
But like a certain rules have to happen. So what if it's something along those lines where it's like
that one tarantula is desperate.
You know, like someone has to become the homeless man, you know. It's just, you know, just the law of the land.
Just always happens to be this guy with a similar looking face.
You know what? Here's what I'm gonna go with. In this reality, Ted Spankowski picks up that hat and coat specifically because he's there to do so before the other homeless man shows up. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. All right then.
If he comes in and says the exact same words, I'm disregarding that.
He remembers the previous homeless man from his time, from in the future. Wait, no, he wouldn't, because that homeless man wouldn't have existed. Sorry, I just went against what I said before. Never mind. Forget.
But I mean, he would. But to be fair, he wouldn't know what that man said, so it would just be his words he's saying instead of that man's words. He's not echoing anyone's words. He's not trying to mimic anyone. It's just.
Well, no, I mean, if it's a closed loop, like so far it seems to be for the most part, then he would know the words. He's just not aware that he'd be echoing his own words.
Yes, there we go.
I mean, yeah. Also, to be fair, he didn't go insane.
Also, Risotto. Yeah, I'm more aware of the Starkid Ultra Coherent story. I've been a fan of them for years, even before the Hatchetfield stuff even started in the first place. However, people can still make mistakes or have a process that is coherent to them, but not necessarily to everyone else. unless they're like waiting to give all the clues later.
I will say, yeah, time travel is a notoriously difficult device.
Dang it, I pressed the wrong button. Where were we? Somewhere here.
Years pass. Ted has caught back up to the year.
Wow, you were like almost on the dot.
Unfortunately,
Time.
he never found that home. In fact, the now 50-year-old Ted is simply known around town as the homeless man. He spends his days begging for change on the streets.
Spare change for the homeless? Spare change for the homeless?
That is very much the same words in the same voice.
A couple walks by, hand in hand. They avoid eye contact and try to rush past.
Sorry, we don't have anything.
Ah, well, there we go.
So, okay, other question then.
Yeah.
So, homeless guy who busts into wedding and this homeless guy, presumably the same. That makes sense. Question. If he plays the same homeless guy every time, is it the same version of the homeless guy? Is this same?
BB,
is the one
you're
dude
just asking the exact question that I posed 20 minutes ago.
It's Paul.
Or 10 minutes ago, rather. I've exaggerated a bit.
They were best friends once.
I mean, okay.
And Ted recognizes
Also, the question now is, of course, that he didn't actually go on the trip this time.
the woman Paul's with as well.
That's the fucking robot they were gonna make. I got him.
Oh, okay, there we go. All right, so that's
why he knows they're fake, even though, you know.
Okay.
What?
I still understand why they chose Emma specifically in this case, but yeah, well.
Convenience.
I think that might have been explained in Forever and Always for some reason. Oh no, I do remember now because Emma Perkins in the so they did say that when she was younger, she did for money submit herself to like genetic trials, or didn't know what she was signing up for, and that's why she was made into this. So it was not a case of like employees of the company that were required to submit DNA. It was just random volunteers who didn't know better. Okay, there we go. I gotta go travel back in time 2 hours and remind myself. But oh well, I'm sure the comments have already done it.
I gotta warn Paul.
Days later, at Paul.
Oh, days later. Just don't just tell Paul immediately as you're right there. No, wait days, of course.
I think the implication was he walked off and they got too far away before, as he was having
far
epiphany.
Away.
Well, he probably had this. Okay, to be fair, when you feel awkward, like when someone's like, especially when someone's asking you for money and you get awkward and you're like, oh no, sorry. Sometimes you get a bit awkward and you kind of speed walk away. Okay, listen, it's just something.
Oh no, I understand that, but you know who else has the ability to speed walk? Ted.
Yeah, but he was processing. He's slow now because his mind's kind of been shattered. Remember?
I will say I do like that. Even it's interesting that his first train of thought isn't like how this all connects or affects him. It's I have to go help Paul. So I guess that implies some things about how he really feels about Paul.
I mean, he's also processed everything that affected him. He knows what affected him this time. I mean, Tinky explained everything that he did and why he ended up in this situation. So the only loose end now would be Paul in this case.
Wedding. Homeless Ted bursts through the doors, yelling,
Liar!
What?
I said you are a fucking liar! You think I don't know? You think I don't remember? I've
You remember.
seen the plan. You are Emma Perkins.
Tom gets up and takes his arm.
We've seen the plan this
that's
time.
enough.
Get off
And
me!
the previous episode.
Where are you taking me? That's not Emma Perkins! That's not Emma! Spare change for the homeless? That's not Emma!
Tom escorts the homeless man out. The younger Ted.
Yeah, and if you weren't here for the last episode, that is also what happened, and it was the inciting incident for the whole fake Emma storyline.
Yeah, that is word for word, all the way down to the comedic timing.
Yeah.
What a loser.
A week later.
And that's why I know that Ted was present at the wedding, by the way. That was his contribution.
Just to make sure that we know they're the same guy, you have to have the tying of normal Ted.
I don't think we needed that actually. Because we know now they're the same guy, so there's no point.
Yeah, but I mean, if anyone was doubting it.
Were they? We saw the transformation happen on the screen.
Yeah,
in an alley, sipping from a bottle of whiskey.
Yeah. Fuck Paul.
Then, in a flash of yellow light, he's not alone.
Huh? What are you doing here? I told you I don't want to see you anymore.
We actually have a plush now. Hello.
There's a plush for all of them.
Tick-tock,
Are they selling the
teddy
plushes?
bear. Your time is almost up.
Wait,
You'll
why?
be in the bastard's box real soon.
Why don't I just time travel again?
That's what he's saying. The time being up is quite literally him going back to where this whole journey began.
Covers his eyes with his hands.
No!
Wait, why didn't
Tinky
he just
laughs
tell? What if he just
and
tells
laughs.
him not to go to the office?
Because that wouldn't be half the fun.
No, I mean,
He
why
could.
doesn't-
He
why doesn't
could tell
Homeless
his future
Man
self about that.
Just be like, hey, yo, don't go to the office. By the way, trust me. Do not go there under any circumstances.
He did, in fact, have 15 years to tell himself not to go there. He could have told himself not to take the job if it was the day that he actually applied.
It'd be so easy just not to tell yourself, hey, just by the way, do not do this. And trust
I would
me.
agree. If he hasn't tried, then at this point, I'm not sure anyone even would believe the homeless guy.
I mean,
of all people, past Ted would not engage with this guy. But yeah, he did have 15 years to try something and didn't.
But I mean, if they don't believe you at first, just start reciting some future events in the moment. And even if those future events are a few years off, the moment those future events start to happen, they're like, wait a minute, that homeless guy mentioned a bunch of these events that
this is
just
definitely
happened.
and
then it'll make you start to question and be like, wait a minute, if that came,
we've all
true,
seen
then,
Back to the Future too, but yes, the same principle behind that.
Ultimately, yeah.
And laughs. Then silence. Slowly, Ted removes his hands from his eyes. Pinky is gone. Instead, two figures stand over him.
Huh?
It's Robot Emma and Paul 23, knives in their hands.
Oh.
You almost ruined.
Oh yeah, of course. I forgot. They actually this was the one loose end in their story, and so because they're tying up their thing now, of course. Yeah.
Oh no!
I forgot how it ended because that was a punchline before, wasn't it?
Our wedding, bastard.
Stab.
Stab. It's like the stab was so delayed. Like the actor didn't stab until after stabs was said. It's like, dang.
We got an epilogue, baby.
But don't be too sad. He still lives on, in a way. After his physical death.
Well, for a few more days, and then 85 years later, yeah.
Ted Spankovsky finds himself trapped in the twisting, impossible maze that is the bastard's box. For him, Nightmare Time has only just begun.
The eyebrow.
The jam.
He likes to nibble around in your pocket.
Wait, what?
If there's an apocalypse, he'll survive it.
Oh, he's your guy, if you ever need one.
He's pocket-sized, if you ever see one. He's at a meteoric rise. Peanuts, the Hatchetfield pocket squirrel.
Oh, come on. Okay, so full disclosure, when I was cutting up this video because I wanted to render it separately so I could rewind and go.
Is this Peanuts?
Yes, this is Peanuts.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure people told me that there was going to be something to do with Peanuts, and I was not expecting to just be the end song. Comments, you let me down.
I want a Nightmare Time about Peanuts now.
I thought that was what we were getting to some extent. Like Peanuts was going to be something was involved in this more so, but
Peanuts
right,
is just
fine.
the reincarnated version of Ted.
Hinduism is the canon religion of the Hatchetfield universe.
No, it's obviously whatever those creatures' religion. I don't know. What are they called?
We did actually hear what the term for them was this time, or at least for term for one of them, but it's still haven't.
Wait, oh yeah.
He climbs up and then he climbs down.
Oh, he's your pal when you go on adventures. He's your boot on the ground when you're looking for treasure. Aren't you?
I like to think they just went outside and just took pictures of random squirrels. They didn't even like Google image them. They just
You know, did
filmed
you
them.
know once a squirrel
Yeah.
tried to eat me or kill me in a way? You see, I was
In a
at
way?
work taking trash to the dumpster, and I opened the door to the dumpster, throw it in.
Oh,
Then
I
a
do remember
squirrel-
this
A
because
squirrel jumped out at me, and I
I remember this.
dove.
You came into a stream before, like
I
talking about
dove-
this, like right
I-
after it happened, traumatized.
I dove to the left and skid on my shoulder. So you know, me and squirrels have a bit of a rivalry. You know,
You and the
I kind of
squirrels are
want
at
the
war.
death of all squirrels. You know, all squirrels must die. All squirrels are bastards. You know that whole thing.
This
Oh, look,
reminds
Ed
me
lost
a
contact
lot
with
of
the-
like the Phobos Saga. The just like little dude just being your pal and being your boots on the ground and all that. This is just Phobos Saga squirrel that I don't remember the name of.
Glad you found Peanuts, the Hatchetfield pocket squirrel.
Does he talk?
Does he talk?
Does he talk?
Does he talk? Do you want him to?
Yes.
That happened. I
Does
can
he
vouch.
talk?
Does he talk?
Does he talk?
What does he say?
Fell into a townie.
I like how it's different microphones as well.
The town was charmed by him. He grew inside our hearts as he led from limb to limb.
Oh, hold on, wait, that has
Wait,
a
what?
huge
Wait, what do you
implication.
mean
I'm
it went
sorry.
from
Wait,
limb
wait.
to limb? Wait, what?
Wait, hold on a second. What do you mean a giant statue of people worshiping him?
Well, he was, he was the only survivor of the original Hatchetfield disaster.
This just in.
Peanuts, the Hatchetfield pocket squirrel, is talking.
He's a sentient being.
What do we do now?
Where do we go from here?
What is the next step?
Is there a god? Peanuts, the Hatchetfield pocket squirrel. He likes to leave poops in your shoe.
And have a conversation.
He's your guy if you ever need one. He's pocket size if you ever see one. He's at a meteoric way historic rise. Peanuts, the Hatchetfield pocket squirrel.
Oh God, they died.
It's
I think they got
interesting.
murdered by Peanuts.
So I like how at the end you saw like time shift repeatedly. Does this imply that like Peanuts
Peanuts
has
is a
seen
time
like
traveler.
the beginning to end?
In the absence of Ted, they gave Ted's office to Peanuts and had and Peanuts had his own adventures across time and space.
we please
Listen,
have a
Peanuts
nightmare time
loves
from
time
Peanuts
travel. That's
POV?
what he does in his spare time, you know?
The Peanuts that survived the Hatchetfield disaster was not the same one. It was one that traveled back in time and found herself the time with all the musical aliens.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was
that was a stream.
Yeah. I feel like I know this. People said, "Oh yeah, this is going to answer so many questions you had." Yeah, I have more questions now. I think than when we left off last time.
Every question I had about the last episode was answered.
I replaced with new ones.
In nothing else, I still have every question I had before then about the Hatchetfield continuity and how all that works. And also, I now really want to deep dive into Peanuts lore because now I have some questions.
No, you know, just saying though, like this gives me like Murder Drone vibes, and the fact that they keep answering questions, but every time they answer a question, it leads to like 5 other questions now that weren't a thing. And I'm not even joking. Like I watch Murder Drones, and it's like each episode I just get more and more questions. I'm like, I thought you were supposed to be setting up mysteries and then answering them, not setting up mysteries, answering them, but then then making it even more confusing because I don't understand now. Like, honestly, with Murder Drones especially, I feel like I know less than when I started watching Murder Drones. Is the problem? I feel like I know even less, and that's not good.
Which, by the way, we were supposed to watch that on your channel at one point together.
We need to do that, but like, God, like, just the whole, like, it gives me those vibes. Like, yeah, we answered your questions. Now I have like 10 other questions that I need to answer because I don't understand now. I know just as little because I'm confused now.
One step forward, 2 steps back.
Just like, listen, if you answer a question, you got
It does feel like that. However, I will say, like, as them during the middle portion, I was sort of concerned that, you know, the connection between the two stories was more of like a gimmick towards the beginning, and they weren't really going to converge that much. But actually, you know, the ending kind of did cement that for me, as in, like, okay, now I can see why these two are made the same way, and some of the more weird lines that weren't quite explained, like, you know, like, I've seen the plan, for example, because obviously there was no plan to see as far as Fake Out was concerned, but there was as far as Ted was, because he saw her being planned and being constructed into Emma Perkins. So I guess some things were definitely clarified.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, even if the stories didn't really connect, I still think it's worth it having the stories being in the same universe, because, you know, at least that, like, you know, sort of does it. Even if the stories didn't connect.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but they did connect. But even if the stories were just had similar starting points with, like, a character that was briefly introduced in one story, but, like, kind of went on his own, did his own thing, you know, I still think it works. But yeah, but I really do like the way he did it. Plus, I feel like this as a time travel story makes sense, actually, because like it's a closed loop of events rather than, you know, like, because time travel in general.
I think that's our favorite version of time travel. Our favorite time travel rules, specifically, you and I. BB is up with the interpretation.
Because time travel can be very complicated, especially when you get plot holes and stuff like that. But like when you make a closed loop time travel story, it's like you actually thought it through and thought through each action, you know, and how.
I pitched a Butterverse time travel series once. It was a closed loop logic. It was confirmed, and then a few months later, I had referenced it again. He was like, "Oh my god, why did I ever know?" And
yeah,
like, oh,
the thing is, BB, you whenever you reference stuff for a second time, you sometimes frame it in a different light.
Yeah,
which sheds light on either clarifications of things or different problems that were not there before. Like, for example, the motivation of someone going back getting something, even if it is a closed loop, but if they always travel back, there would be some evidence that they had done so. That, for example, and clearly, if they realized that as they already failed, they was not bother continuing.
I think you're forgetting what the epilogue was, but at this point, it's the epilogue fixed all of that, which I feel like you should
okay,
know.
but I will say the epilogue itself shouldn't be your bandage, if that makes any sense. Like, you shouldn't use an epilogue as a bandage to make it make sense.
It's not a bandage; it's a resolution.
Didn't Marvel try doing that in an epilogue at one point? Didn't go well.
No, not that I know of.
Well, I mean, I will say
the Spider-Man plot hole from No Way Home. They tried closing it off in an epilogue. Did not sit well with people.
I mean,
what are you talking about?
I cannot be clearer than that.
Oh no! In the he's talking about in the extended cut, how we get to see a scene of pictures of everyone, and how Peter isn't in any of them, trying to explain the mechanics of the spell.
Oh, I thought that was pretty cool.
I mean, I thought that was pretty cool, but honestly, I think
most people didn't. It did not sit well with the majority of people.
I mean, I don't mind it, but at the same time, I will say I feel like with the whole way No Way Home did, it's like when you try to erase a person or a set of events or something from a timeline and try to like erase it from existence, like, oh yeah, like no one remembers this happened, it ends up creating more holes, because especially if that person was really involved in it, because then you have to be like, what do the people know? And do the people not think hard about what the events of the previous thing and think more in depth about what happened?
Has
Like,
something filled the gaps in their knowledge.
yeah.
And if so, what would that have thing been? But then again, I'm sure that would.
But like, but with the gaps filled in their knowledge as well, like, what are there holes in that filled knowledge? Like does that fill does
It
that
would likely
fill-
take a whole other movie to explain all those things.
Yeah.
And, you know, in theory, that could be what the next Spider movie would be about.
Yeah. Plus, it'd probably take Peter like acknowledging those holes to make them actually think about it, because realistically, you wouldn't think about those holes or like that, like, I guess, filling that's been put in there to cover up the fact that something was erased. You wouldn't realistically think about it that hard. But if someone starts pointing out, hey, this is weird, this is weird, this is weird, do you remember this specific thing? And then it's like, this is strange. I don't, but something feels weird, you know. I guess I can see it in that regard. But only if you know where to look. Although Lost Girl also tried to do something similar with an episode, like, I think it was like the season 4 premiere, where basically the main character, Bo, was quote-unquote erased from the timeline. So all the characters were just casually existing without, you know, knowing what actually happened about Bo, even though she was a massive part of each of their lives and how they know each other. So it's like, how do they all think they met? Like, how did they all think they got involved with each other? Like, what did they actually think happened in the original happened? You know, what is actually what they remember?
Buffy the Vampire Slayer did the same thing in reverse with Dawn, which works significantly better because they actually do cover the fact that essentially, like, everyone's memories have been warped and no one questions it because they wouldn't think to do so.
There's no one to question it because Dawn doesn't know any different. None of the characters know any different. Only the monks know that they, you know.
Yeah.
Which also coincidental with Buffy, there's one thing I always never got about that.
Yes.
Did the warping with Dawn also push away Buffy's father more? Because I know Buffy's father was already kind of distant, like around the time of season 4 and stuff. But I feel like around the time of season 5, Buffy's father just completely got stated out. Yeah, oh no, now he's the absentee father. So I do wonder if adding Dawn. Not really, because he was still involved in Buffy's life during, like, what, season 3 episode or season 2 episode? Like, he actually did appear in one episode.
I don't think appearing once negates a person being defined as an absentee.
I guess, but it kind of felt more like the father just wasn't super involved in their life, versus season 5 onwards, it felt like the father completely abandoned them and didn't want anything to do with them. It's like, it felt like two different things.
They did need him more after that.
Yeah, which was weird.
I guess that's entirely possible, but I mean, there's no real defined answer.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the thing with that kind of memory manipulation is tricky in stories. Where it's like,
Well, I think Buffy has pulled it off probably one of the best ways that I've seen. Okay. Also, Risotto says, just to answer one of your questions, it won't really be addressed in the future. Ted is always the homeless man. If it's not addressed in the future, how do you know that he's always the homeless man then?
I guess in other productions, he's always the homeless man.
But if it's not addressed in the future, then where's the confirmation of that?
I think they're implying that the confirmation is just the fact that's the actor.
Which doesn't work because Joe Richter plays so many other characters as well.
Yeah. Although I will say, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I did like what they did with, like, tricking the audience. Like, at the end of the season 5 premiere, they kind of just casually introduced Dawn. They're like, oh, bring your sister. And it's like, okay. It's just like, that's
how's
weird.
How's that trick the audience? The audience obviously knows something's up.
I know, but, like, it was one of those things.
It's like saying Mr. PB was a trick to the audience.
I mean,
knew
like,
immediately that something was wrong there.
No, I mean, it's like, you know, something's wrong, but, like, it kind of feels like you're being gaslit by the show itself. You know, it's like, hey guys, bring your sister Dawn, who's always been a part of the show. It's like, I don't remember Dawn. What did she have a sister that we didn't know about that just happened to come to town? Where did this come from? Who is Dawn? You know, and like it's one of the things where it's like it's just not even explained. It's just like, yeah, Dawn's here. It's like, who are you? But everyone's acting like, oh yeah, we know Dawn. It's like, wait, what is this? What's happening? Did I miss something? Did I miss an episode?
Yeah, an episode. 4 seasons in, I missed an episode where Buffy's sister was born and grew immediately, Renesmee style, into a teenager.
although I will say, I did skip a lot of the season 4 finale. Listen,
That wouldn't have mattered because even in that time frame, there's not enough time to grow that much.
Yeah, but I just listen. I wasn't a fan of Restless. Okay, look. Okay,
that's not the point.
Like, listen, I skimmed that episode. I was so confused, but I mean, I guess that was kind of the point.
I imagine you'd probably be less confused if you didn't skim it. Not that I ever watched it. Admittedly, I don't really know what I'm talking about that, but that feels like common sense.
Restless is a dream anthology episode where each character goes through the dreams and has different cryptic talking about their insecurities in themselves, and it's super cryptic foreshadowing, but cryptic about their past. It's super strange. It's just like, yeah, I'm bored.
That sounds cool.
I guess, but like it's like, okay, I'm confused. I'm not following any of this. I don't know what does this mean? I mean, I guess you could read into it more. I mean, I think people did videos reading into it, but it's like I'm confused.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the goal.
Like that. Yeah, ever since Joseph, people have been reading into dreams specifically. You would think probably before that, actually.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Well. How that works up to our interpretation, apparently, my interpretation is it doesn't work. I need actual confirmation from somewhere.
I mean, that's fair, you know. I mean, that's my major problem with the FNAF lore. It's like, oh, it's up for your interpretation, guys. Like,
and this is why I said FNAF is not the best example of how to tell a story.
Yeah, everyone has.
I really enjoy it, but
here's the thing: like, I have heard from several different people completely radically different interpretations of FNAF from several different people, and
totally.
it's like oh my god, everyone has their own interpretation. It's like, but like we're not ever gonna get a correct interpretation because Scott's never gonna be like, this is the correct interpretation. But even
there is a middle ground between that. I do like the idea of like, you know, the like
some ambiguity, but like
yes.
But
actually, modern FNAF is really straightforward.
Not
like the books have made it obscenely clear. The problem is that a lot of people think that the books aren't canon, which that leads to more can of worms than it would.
Imagine a lot of people. The problem for them is that they have to buy a whole different medium several times over, and also I can definitely say that the people who like to play video games aren't necessarily book fans.
Yeah,
well, that's their problem, man. Get some literacy.
It's been made to become their problem, and that's probably I think that's a flaw.
I'm gonna compare this to Star Wars.
I think
in The Force Awakens, the First Order was introduced haphazardly with no explanation of who they were. They looked like the Empire, even though they're the First Order and they're not the Empire, and we didn't know anything about them. But apparently, they explained who the First Order was and everything about that in a book released after the fact. But not
Empire also came as a surprise when Episode 4 came out. Like no one knew who they were.
Well, yeah, but like that was the beginning of a story. You just copied something from.
This was also the beginning of a story.
You copied something from the original trilogy, and then copy something, carbon copy, didn't explain it, put it in the new trilogy and just renamed it slightly. Didn't explain anything, and then after the fact said, hey, you could buy this book to explain it. And that's, in my opinion, not fair to be like, oh, what, you didn't know all this lore about the First Order? It's like,
guess what? You paid money to find out about this, but guess what? Now I get to pay even more money.
Yeah. You paid money
probably you
to
enjoy
find
less.
out about this. You know, it's like, and like, I don't think it's fair to force other people to go into other mediums just to understand a single project. Like to understand the thing in front of you, you shouldn't have to read 20 things.
Yes, exactly. This is also the reason that that I'm very keen on every Butterverse project being its own self-contained story, because that way, if someone wants to find out about the rest of things, they can do so. But to enjoy something in one self-contained manner and get satisfaction from that, they don't have to go out of their way as well.
I don't necessarily, because, like, for Star Wars, first off, I didn't read the book, and I felt like I understand it pretty clearly. I don't know what was so confusing about it. But regardless, it's not the same thing as FNAF. FNAF has, and always will be, a puzzle. So, like, if you don't want to get the puzzle piece, then that's fine. But, like, I don't know what else you expected.
But I mean, that puzzle should come together eventually, and the puzzle really hasn't been coming together. Honestly, it feels like there's, like, with FNAF especially, it feels like there's 20 different puzzles, like hundreds of ideas, hundreds of different characters, hundreds of different mediums and projects. It's just like, and like some projects build lore in other corners, some projects build lore in this corner, some do that, but like it doesn't come together at any point.
I disagree. I've connected almost every piece of it together in my timeline.
Yeah,
you say that, but you have no actual certainty of whether or not you're correct.
Yeah.
No, of course not, but I still like
other people have done that. The other people have done. Yeah, okay. I mean,
yeah, Matt has done that, but he's been wrong technically so many times because all the FNAF theories he makes retcons the other FNAF theory he made.
Oh yeah, Scott's definitely got it out for him, especially.
Yeah, just like, listen.
Well,
like,
he does. However, it does seem like he's releasing the next FNAF game early, specifically because of this.
Like
by this, I presume you mean Matt Pat stepping down as the host of Game Theory.
Yes.
Okay. Just in case anyone was on top of what that was meant to be.
Ultimately, what my problem with FNAF ultimately is, I could like it in short bursts. Like I could like it for a game, or maybe one of the short stories from the books. I could like it for that. But honestly, I can never see me liking it as a whole, because as a whole, it doesn't come together properly. The grandness of it doesn't come together.
To tie it back to Hatchetfield quickly, because we have to wrap up this video. Yes. Ghost has probably been waiting for hours. The Hatchetfield gets a bit more leeway in that regards to FNAF, because Hatchetfield, everything that you can find, you can find for free in video format, which is how most people are experiencing it in the first place. You can go and see the stage plays if you happen to be in the area. And
where does the stage plays even take place, by the way?
On a stage. I don't know what location.
I mean, what's the location? God,
they probably went out different venues. I don't live in the country where their stage plays have been produced, and therefore
is it in America? Is it in America?
Yes, okay. It is.
I don't know the country of these things. I can't tell accents. Everyone's like, oh, I can tell accents. I don't know accents. I just hear a voice.
Well, where else do you hear an accent that bland?
I might not be able to place the specific region of the Team Starkid accents, but I know that the area is the United States.
Oh, well, I mean, okay. To be fair, baby, as well, we call American accents bland, but that's just because all we do is hear American accents. I mean,
yeah, you're constantly exposed to them. That makes sense.
I'm honestly don't think American accents are that bland to other people in other countries. They think they could clearly tell that they're American with their accents. It's like, yeah, no, that's obviously American. Much like I imagine other accents in the UK aren't spectacular to Jacob, or it's like, oh, that's blank accent. And from
hold on a second. This has my interest. Have you seen Tink Ambrose is coming to London for a show in the future? How far in the future is my question. I live very, very near to London. I am more than happy to take a day trip and invite some people. Yeah, but yeah, they definitely live. They've there. So again, you can go to the stage shows if you want to, and you're in the area and you can afford it, etc., etc. But the main way, of course, and the reason they document them in the first place is to have them available to show on YouTube. That's kind of how they started. Was they put stuff on YouTube to share to other people who weren't there for the show, and then the first musical they put up there blew up, and they decided, okay, this is what we're gonna do as like our main our main output now, as well as our main source of income. I think they get more from the YouTube stuff they do from the stage ones, I believe, and from album sales back in the day, and now so from streaming. So again, that's why they get that's why I get a bit more leeway from me, and why it's like, okay, fine. Well, if we're gonna find out these puzzles, at least you've given us much more accessible and easy tools to access them, and also in a format that people are into in the first place. So I guess more answers can be brought sometime later as the nightmare continues. In September we're going to do that. Okay, well, my dream happens in September, but the nightmare shall return for us all sometime. Give it like a week or two, maybe.
Give it like 3 to 4 months. Who knows?
Not 3 to 4 months. We need the watch hours.
Yeah. In 3 to 4 months, it'll be time for the day off and to watch the actual stage play.
Guys. So I don't work on Monday, Wednesday, or Thursday next week.
Okay. All right then. For the sake of content longevity, I'm gonna suggest Thursday.
Okay, that's cool.
Or maybe Wednesday, actually, because I have Walking Wednesday on the main channel, so I can just put it out. I can do double outputs.
Have work on Wednesday.
Then never mind, we'll do Thursday. See, this is how we put the stuff together. Is it Thursday yet? Indeed. All right, but for now, of course, let me know your thoughts, means of liking or disliking, and leaving your comments on everything we got wrong and everything that you think might be important for us to learn. And we'll see you all soon enough on Thursday for another Bus a Bunch video.